live, going live, going live on the internet. It's going live, TechTalk.
Are we live? Hello?
Yeah, I think we're live. What's up, guys? Welcome to TechTalk episode 20 with Barnacules and AuxxZillary. Those are our real names given by our parents, if you guys were wondering. At least mine is. I don't know. Was your name given by your parents? Did they say, oh, he looks like a little auxiliary?
Yeah. It's on the long form birth certificate.
I forgot. You have a brother. Is he older or younger?
Younger brother.
It's your younger brother. Okay, so you wouldn't have been the auxiliary in that case. He would have been the auxiliary, and you would have been the primary. Okay. That'd be funny. Like, you just start naming your kid's number. Like, I'd imagine if you're a Mormon, that would be more efficient, right? Just name your kids like 1, 2, 3, 4. You're 5. Then if you have another one within a year, then it's 5 Junior.
Right. There's a book called Stardust, and there's a king or something in that book where he has 7 sons, and they're called Primus, Secundus, Tertius, Quatrus, and like he works through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Man, they stole my idea. Oh, so if you guys are wondering, we still haven't fixed the issue since last week because I literally got out of bed 30 minutes ago precisely. We didn't fix the issue where you can get snipped a little bit, Mr. Auxiliary. So, okay. So if I talk and it just assume that if I'm talking, it's muting you. So just like flail your arms at me, flip me off, like throw shit at your camera. Like if for whatever reason I'm not paying attention to the video feed over here, we will fix that. We haven't figured out. I think it may be a feature inside of Streamlabs OBS because when I start talking, it pulls your audio level way down, and so I'm pretty sure that it's the one doing that. It's like doing some kind of audio ducking, but unlike in regular Streamlabs where it's like abundantly obvious when you go to the settings, and here it is not. When I go into properties, it's just like, oh, you are using this audio device. There isn't like 70 settings like there is in the other program. By the way, you guys shouldn't use Streamlabs OBS. As a matter of fact, that's going to be that'll be our first topic of the show today is why you should not use Streamlabs. What?
For sure. I don't mind talking about that because there are in particular the best feature about Streamlabs OBS is you can choose the video inputs that you want to record locally. So like, say I'm doing a build stream and I have all my overlays and there's like the parts list that scrolls along the bottom and that kind of a thing. I can choose, when I do a local recording, I can choose to only capture the webcam. It won't grab the overlays or anything else. Like I can select what parts of the scene actually get recorded, and that is super cool.
Oh, and you can't do that in regular Streamlabs?
Not from what I've seen.
Or in OBS? Oh, okay.
I've been looking at Stream Elements version of OBS, and they call it OBS Live. And it's still very, very much OBS Studio. They've just they put the chat box into the
it's like a plugin. It's just a plugin.
They've done a pretty good job with like the cute quality of life extras that they've done into their version of it, and I really like it. I've been using their Stream Elements OBS.live.
Here, I'm going to check in chat. Hey, is anybody noticing, is AuxZillary clipping at all, or does his audio seem really strained, or is that just my loop back? I just want to make sure, because I don't want to have you fix it if it sounds fine. Testing. I wonder what our delay is on the stream, too. This will be a good indicator.
No, he's good.
Let's see. Chat, come on now. Oh, no, he's good? Okay, good. I think it might be on my side, too. So, oh, shit. Trying to break my...
Loud. Good otherwise.
You sound good otherwise. It's just for some reason I have a little bit. It says audio is a little loud today, but good otherwise. Yeah, as long as it's not clipping. I just want to make sure it's not clipping because for some reason on my loop back this morning, I'm just getting a little bit of clip at the top end, but it sounds like they're not hearing it, and I'm looking at the UV meter and you're not pegging it.
Oh, good.
So,
okay.
so I'm pretty sure it's something that I have all messed up with my mixer board. I've been kind of tinkering with it because I lost my speaker audio the other day.
Oh, I heard about that.
Oh, God, dude. I thought my mixer board fried its... I think I told you about this last week. That the mixer board, I thought it fried its preamps, but then I tested the preamps with headphones. They worked fine. So I'm like, okay, what's the next problem? Maybe the cable? I swap out the cable, it starts working again. I'm like, yes, it was just a bad cable. Then it stops working again. I'm like, no. So then I test it right there at the Logitech speaker controller for the Z5500s, which is like the most expensive thing out of all the components. Yeah. Like the Z5500s is like, I want to buy those on eBay. They're like $400 now. The most expensive component, of course, is blown out. So if I put a fan on it, it works for like 10 minutes. If I don't put a fan on it, it works for like 60 seconds. So it's definitely something heat related, neither the amp on the sub which is the amp for the speakers too, or in some heat soak in that too.
But Robert can fix it.
And that's what I was thinking too. I even said that on Twitter the other day. I was like, this is a job for K9. I need to send this shit over his way. Have him wrench on it. Let's see here. What is going on? Oh my God, why do people do this? I get these random messages. Does this happen to anybody else? Do you just get random DMs on Facebook from your family members that are like 75,000 paragraphs? And then you realize about halfway through reading it, it's one of those, oh, copy this and paste it to all your family members so that they'll do the same.
My mom will like check with me first before she spreads that kind of stuff. And I'm like, Mom, stop
your
it.
Mom's awesome. I love your mom. I've never met your mom, and I love your mom.
I'm like, Mom, Facebook will never charge you, ever. They make literal billions of dollars selling your data. They will never charge you directly, ever. Ever.
So true.
Your entire existence, ever, 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 ever. They are not going to make you pay to post pictures onto Facebook. You know?
Right? Yeah. I don't understand like why people would think any different.
Yeah, you know, Bill Gates is not going to send you $100 for sending this email to your friends. You know,
People think it's funny though, because it's like I don't know what's the psychology behind it. Is if people think that they're going to get something, they're less likely to question it.
Yeah,
it's very bizarre. I don't know what the psychology is behind it, but like if you tell somebody something that's like really shady, then they'll immediately pick up on it's shady and they'll back away until you tell them somehow by believing it they'll get $100. Then all of a sudden they all their radar just like goes offline.
Yeah,
so stupid. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, it's like there's also something to be said about things like social proof. Hey, your friend, like this is how change.org makes its money in a big way. Say like I sign a petition on change.org and I say, oh yeah, tell my friends about this petition. There'll be a line in the email that Change sends, and it says, hey, your friend supported this thing. How about you donate $7, blah, blah, blah. And the wording implies that you're donating to the cause that the petition is for, but it's actually donating directly to Change. And it's very rarely that your friend who signed the petition actually, donated any money. But the wording of it implies that, hey, your friend donated money, so you should too. And that's that reinforcement of social proof. Like, hey, everybody else is doing it, you should too. And you get that FOMO feel.
That's weird. So, okay. So change.org does something. Well, actually, change.org does something very similar to what Streamlabs does.
Yeah.
So just to let you guys know, I wanted to make a video on it. I haven't. That's totally on me. But I might as well talk about it here because I'm sure a lot of people that are in chat right now actually use Streamlabs OBS when they're doing their live stream because it's a very popular platform, right? Basically, Streamlabs took an open source project, which was OBS Studio, and completely tweaked it and facelifted it and basically made it their own proprietary piece of software. And then they back it with a set of services that are online, right? So like, I think they have like Stream Elements. It's very similar. Like they have overlays, animations and stuff, right?
Yeah, all kinds of, they have like a merch integration.
Yep. So my problem with them that I found out just a couple of weeks ago was I kept getting a bill on PayPal. Like PayPal would just automatically deduct $5 every month. And it would just say Streamlabs. It would say Streamlabs OBS. That's all it said for the charge. It wouldn't give me any more information. So I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? So I went and did a little bit of research, and I'm digging around, and I found out that by default, when you set up tips, so like say you want a PayPal tip from somebody, in Streamlabs OBS, which is a part of installing, like when you install it, it tells you to create an account, and it goes through the setting. The default setting for that has a checked option that says allow premium animated GIFs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is if somebody tips you, just one person, and only one person ever tipped us because we don't actually advertise a PayPal tip yet. We want to in the description, but we haven't done it yet. And a lot of it's because I need to switch back to OBS and change some things. So what happened was somebody just found it. Somebody just went to Streamlabs and just put in /Barnacules, figuring that that's what it was. And it was, and they did a PayPal tip, and they did one tip. And what happened as soon as they did that tip, Streamlabs started charging me $5 a month. And I'm like, what the hell? I didn't agree to nothing. Like I got one tip and the tip was like for $5. So literally I like took the tip away. Then for 4 consecutive months, I had this charge for $5. I finally opened a ticket in their system because I was trying to message them on social media and they were completely ignoring me. So I opened a ticket in their system and they get a response back, the ticket that says, oh, when somebody tips you, if they pick an animated a GIF to show on screen, it enables a feature called OBS Studio Premium or something. It's not their regular service you pay like $12.99 a month for, but it's a sub service you don't even know about that's $5, and they charge you $5 a month in perpetuity forever as soon as one person clicks that. And the problem is when they do the tip, it says, do you want to show a premium animated GIF? And it doesn't say anywhere on there that by selecting that it's going to cost the presenter like $5 a month. It just, and of course you're going to pick that. Why would you pick that? Why would you pick the lame not animated one? You're going to pick the animated one, dude. So anyways, they end up charging you $5 a month. So I went and looked into this and I was like, okay, so I got to dig deeper into this shit. And dude, she's showing off the sock, the sock pop filter. I love it. Dude, is it at least a clean sock though, so you don't have to smell like your toe butter?
I think so. It's a little. I don't know. I think it may have been a used sock. Like,
bro, that's a premium pop filter.
It feels a little crunchy, like foot.
Dude, is that one of those Kirkland signature pop filters?
Actually, no. I think this was a Costco pack of socks. I do think
it kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
So anyways, not to get too far off track on this because my ADHD brain does that. So anyway, Streamlabs OBS. So I open this ticket, they reply back and they're like, oh, when people do a tip or whatever, it enables our premium service, which allows you to have animated GIFs. And I'm like, first of all, why is an animated GIF any more like cost any more than just a regular GIF? Like, I don't understand. Like, their system is still just sending an image to the browser. The browser is the one that's playing back the animation. So
bandwidth. Right,
it's all bandwidth. So I gotta fix that ducking thing. That ducking thing's even worse than the Discord thing.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not you. It's me. I fucked something up here, and we tried everything. I disabled everything in Zoom. I turned on the original audio source because I know that was the thing that we were doing last week. I made sure all the additional features I turned off, and for some reason it's still ducking you, and I don't know why. And it looks like it actually is happening in Zoom now that I'm watching it.
The only thing I see is in Streamlabs, you go to Settings, Advanced.
Let me do this.
Check the box for Disable Windows Audio Ducking.
Okay, so Settings, Audio. Let's see. Is it under Advanced or?
Yeah, Settings, Advanced.
Okay, let's see here. Settings, Advanced. Oh wait, under Windows or under OBS Studio?
OBS in Slabs, yeah.
Okay, let me see here. Duck. Preserve cutoff. Replay buffer.
Also,
audio. Yeah, it's already checked. Disable Windows audio ducking is already checked.
And then also check your Windows sound icon in your taskbar.
Yes, sir.
Right on that. Click Sounds. Right-click your headphones or whatever your default audio out device, I believe. Actually, you should probably just go through all of them just to be sure. So we're looking at our audio devices, I believe.
Yep. Let's see. Levels, Advanced.
Under the Advanced tab, uncheck the box for Allow applications to take exclusive control of this device. You should also do this for your microphone. This is a tweet from Streamlabs a few years back, but
let me see it actually. So here's so allow applications to take exclusive control of this device. Unchecked. Apply. All right, go ahead and say something.
Hello, I'm saying
test. You talk while I talk. Test. Nope, still ducking you out. God damn it. It's got to be Zoom. It's got in Zoom just got a bug or something.
Oh well. I mean, we can try Skype where you could then get NDI inputs.
You know what? I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm actually gonna move there because this is ridiculous. Like this makes it really, really, really difficult to like go back and forth when there's a tiny little delay, and people don't understand it. So that's why I want to fix it. We will though. I'll fix it before the next stream. Actually, I'm gonna fix it right after this stream. After this stream, if you want to hang around for a little bit, I'll go through and we'll vet it and get something working that works perfectly. And plus, I'm gonna just move over to OBS anyways.
Before it's RTX voice.
Yep. It's not RTX voice. I don't even have RTX voice running right now. So, and it's funny because it even says it says there's two apps using my microphone right now. How's that work? Hold on here. Microphone access for this device is on. Yes. Allow access to your microphone. Yes. Oh, it says Cortana and the camera app both are using my microphone right now. That's creepy. Oh, that's bizarre. And it says OBS is using my microphone and Zoom is using my microphone. I guess that makes sense because I'm talking to you in Zoom and you're hearing me through the microphone on Zoom. And then I'm also grabbing Zoom internally to OBS Studio. And today, in triaging software problems live.
Talk, right? This is tech support talk.
So, right, tech support talk. I love it. So just to end on the OBS Studio, don't run it. And here's the reason that I'm saying that, not just because they got me, but because I actually got a little bit of a journalism out of this, where some people reached out to me in email that work for Streamlabs. So I actually got some internal employees to email me from anonymous email addresses. It was clear they were anonymous. Like literally it was like, burner1@gmail.com. And the information that they actually gave me internally was that they are very well aware of this deceptive practice. They're banking on most people forgetting about small transactions on PayPal, just going off the radar, which turns out happens a lot. And they said that over 50% of the revenue that they make as a company comes in from that predatory feature.
Wow.
So you bet your ass I'm going to make a video on that, because, and you can tell it's on purpose too, because they could easily put something on there. Like when you're installing Streamlabs OBS that says, by this feature being enabled, if you do not uncheck this box, you will be charged $5 a month for the rest of your life if one person sends you a tip and chooses to have an animated GIF. Or you can uncheck this box and not have to worry about it. But the box is checked by default. They never tell you about it. They never show you it during setup. And when you set up your account online, if you say, I don't want a premium account, I just want the free service, they still enable that premium feature the second it's used. But they never say that you actually have a premium account when you log into it. So it still says you have a free account, but they're just charging you $5 a month. So anyways, I thought this might have been an issue that was just happening to like a few people like me. Like maybe I was like tooling around in the settings and I clicked something or enabled a feature. I mean, I put the benefit of, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, maybe I just screwed up and checked something that enabled a feature that I paid for. But no, after doing the research, I found out that this is a predatory feature in Streamlabs. Everybody calls them out for it in the forums. They delete their posts. Everybody talks about it on social media. They just ignore them. So this is a hugely predatory practice, and I think that it's absolutely stupid. So last week, if I remember right, I told everybody to go check their PayPals, and I got a ton of people that responded on Twitter that said, "Holy crap, dude! I actually found this $5 charge on my PayPal going back months and months and months." So there was a lot of other people just from the live stream, and that's only a couple hundred people, right? Just a couple hundred people I already got like at least 3 people messaged me back and said, holy shit, this is happening to me. Thank you. I opened a ticket, and they disabled it. Because they will. If you open a ticket, they'll disable it and they'll refund you like 1 or 2 months. But they won't refund you any more than that. Like I didn't even get the full 4 months refunded that they charged me. So they still got $10 out of me that I was like completely unaware that they took from me. There's like no indicator. It doesn't pop up anywhere. Streamlabs doesn't say it's for the tip feature, for the premium feature. It just says Streamlabs OBS took $5 out of your PayPal.
Yeah, so, I feel like that kind of thing has been brought up in other applications, where like almost like those free trial kind of things, where they they'll charge you $2 to begin with, but they have like misleading messaging for but this is going to be a recurring payment. I feel like that was something that happened. Like legally, there was somebody got in trouble for duping people like that. I feel like there is a precedent there where if somebody wanted to make a stink, they could press against that.
Yeah, I can actually totally see the grounds for like a class action lawsuit on something like this.
Because it has to be clear. Like you have to, and oftentimes it's like I want to say that was the big deal in a previous. Can't remember the app or the situation really, but it was that they have to opt in. Like you have to make it. You can't have it. You can't charge somebody as your default. Like installing antivirus by default. Like you have to make it a choice to add on because it's tricky. That's your. It's almost false advertising in a way.
Yeah, and I feel like them like charging you after somebody tips is a way of like also covering their ass, because what they're doing is they're making sure that if somebody tips you, then they start charging you. So they basically know you have a revenue stream. That way your PayPal doesn't go negative and like get your attention.
Why is AuxxZillary cutting all the time? Like the ducking, you mean?
Yeah, we're having a problem with audio ducking where I talk, it just like steamrolls them, and we need to fix that shit.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to like just fix that shit like live during the show at this point.
I mean,
should we just switch back to Discord for the time being? Let me see. Do I even have a scene still set up with Discord? Or actually, you know what? Actually, I have an idea that might actually work. Here, try this. I'm gonna mute my audio. And
now I can't hear you.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute my audio. I'm gonna go to Discord and I'm gonna call you in Discord as an audio call. Okay. We're gonna do some weird shit here. Okay, hold on.
What?
Hold on here.
Hello.
All right, so mute.
What?
Mute yourself in Zoom.
Okay. I have muted myself in Zoom.
There we go. So now we're using Discord audio.
Just Discord audio. Okay.
The audio quality is not nearly as good in Discord. It's kind of cool. We could do the side-by-side comparison, but now it shouldn't do the audio ducking.
All right. Fine.
Test. Here, go ahead and just keep talking. Test.
I guess. Some people are saying rip headphone users.
Oh, sorry.
Warned them a touch, I suppose, but
we probably should have. Not cool. All right. Did that fix the audio ducking issue or make it better?
Did it fix
test? No, but still fucking you over. So it's got to be OBS.
It's me.
No, it's got to be OBS. How could you duck your own audio? Like it does. Does your side know when I'm talking and just like?
No. It has to be. It has to be on your side somewhere.
All right. Fuck it. Just hang up in Discord and go back to audio inside of Zoom.
This is goofy.
Dude, Zoom's audio is like way better though. I did not.
I hear your AC right now and stuff. A little, like it's back there, but like I can tell it where I couldn't in Discord.
Yeah, the audio is like really sharp compared to it. Like I noticed that it was way more muffled in Discord. Did anybody else notice that in chat? Like when we were on Discord, that the audio was like way more muffled and less fidelity. Weird. Hey Jack. Oh my God, Jack saying thank you for that $10 super chat. You awesome son of a bitch. He said Windows 10 update bricked to my PC again. Was that the 2004 update? I'm guessing it was.
A perfect segue into our first topic.
It absolutely is. So Windows 2004 has been generating a higher than average signal to noise ratio on Twitter and other social media platforms where people are complaining about it breaking their box. I've heard about a bunch of blue screens of death. I've heard a couple of people talk about the data access issue as it pertains to storage spaces, but now Microsoft has pulled it back so that you can't even install the update if you're susceptible to that particular bug. But if you already installed the update, you're screwed. So just to give you some background on that, the 2004 update actually has some pretty significant changes in it. The biggest change probably being that they dropped in their own Linux subsystem. Like Microsoft has their own legitimate Linux kernel.
Yeah.
And now it's in that build.
Yeah, I mean, Don was super stoked, at least. He's like, oh, dude, this is WSL something, blah, blah, blah.
Yep, WSL2. So, yeah, Microsoft has their own Linux kernel now. I know, and people are... So my conspiracy is starting to come true. Like, my long-standing conspiracy that Microsoft is trying to swap out the kernel with a Linux kernel. Like, everything they've done has been supporting open source, supporting .NET Core on Linux and on other operating systems, including OS X. It is clear that Microsoft does not want to maintain a proprietary kernel anymore. So I think that what they're doing is they're building their own kernel. You have Windows 10X, which is their Android-based operating system. And I think they're really positioning themselves and testing this kernel. They're literally putting the Linux kernel in so that they can do a lot of testing in the user space and they can slowly start implementing it. And then at a certain point, they're just going to yank out the inbox kernel, stick in the Linux kernel, and none of us are even going to notice that everything's emulated.
Are you telling me Microsoft is actually trying to test something?
Well, no, we're testing it. It's you and I testing it, brother. But they get all the benefits. Hey, Eric Lacosta, thank you for the $5 Canadian. He said, I've checked Streamlabs website, and it says... Okay, hold on, I got to full screen this so I can read it. Logitech at the bottom. Does Logitech own Streamlabs? Yes, Logitech does own Streamlabs.
Yeah.
And apparently they are the ones that are well aware of this issue. So, according to the internal source that I have. So...
Sources say...
Yeah, buyer beware. Hey, Jack, thank you for the $2. He said, yep, update 2004. So I would recommend not upgrading to Windows 10 2004 unless you need the following features. If you want Microsoft's Linux subsystem, if you want the extra development system, they added a bunch of more developer support to the operating system for cross-platform development. So if you don't need that stuff, and they also did some tweaking to the Windows sandbox to basically make it like faster and more efficient. They added a couple of features. If you don't need that stuff, I would avoid this update for a while, because in order to do that Linux drop-in where they go from this like basically a subsystem to a virtualized Linux kernel, they had to change a lot of the operating system, including the storage stack, the networking stack. They basically had to tweak everything in the operating system to support these features. And you still have to have those changes in place, even if you don't use those features or enable those features. So I think that's why they're having problems with storage spaces. People are reporting some networking issues. People are recording blue screens of death because the drivers are blowing up when they didn't blow up on the previous version, because now there's some timing issues introduced by these changes. So just buyer beware. Like, I would say, unless you need those features specifically, which actually here, I have a list.
A list?
I have a list. Let's see what we got.
You may or may not need.
Let me scroll down here. Okay, so, and they do have a mitigation, by the way. If you did actually install this and you use storage spaces and you're having problems seeing your data, they do actually have steps on this website. Let me go ahead and paste this in chat. They do have steps on this website that you can take to use PowerShell to basically disable the virtual disk write caching, which apparently can fix the issue temporarily, but they're not guaranteeing is it 100% fixed. They're just saying it's a short-term mitigation. But if you guys haven't used storage, a lot of people don't know what storage spaces are, and I thought that this was interesting because it's a feature that's been in since Windows 7, and not a lot of people use it, but it's there. If you open up disk management, like your disk manager, and you create a new partition on a drive, you can actually enable storage spaces, and it's basically like software RAID. So you don't need a RAID controller or anything. You can even use like an external device if you want to, like a USB hard drive, and you can basically just create your own RAID arrays with parity and everything using Windows storage spaces, and it's a software-based RAID solution. And people didn't. Sorry, I keep stepping on you, but people keep the reason that people use it is one, they don't have a RAID controller. Two, it's nice because if you swap out your hardware inside of your computer, it still works. Whereas with RAID controllers, if you go from one motherboard to another motherboard and it's a different RAID chipset, it has to rebuild your RAID, and sometimes you even lose your data and have to start over. So storage spaces was kind of like a solution to people. They just wanted a soft drop-in software solution that worked with BitLocker, that would just work with any device and work with it. You didn't have to meet all these strict requirements that RAIDs usually require you to meet. So nobody used it because it was really hard on the CPU. Because you can imagine with as fast as hard drives are nowadays, the I/O going through your CPU trying to be a wannabe RAID controller is hard, right? So it's not a heavily used feature, and I think that's why it slipped through, is they just don't do enough testing internally, and this is one of those scenarios that's not considered a core scenario, right? Because not that many people use it. But boy, if you use it, you get screwed on this update pretty hard. Apparently, it doesn't hit 100% of people though, so there's something else going on. So obviously, if it was 100% repo, meaning you could do it, you could reproduce it every single time, they would probably not have released this update. I think that it has to do with certain hardware configurations, because they are blocking out the update based on your hardware configuration. Like, if you open up Windows Update, like even on my computer, they say I don't meet the standards, which, I don't know if it's software I have installed, but I pop it open and it says, so this Windows 10 May 2020 update is on its way. We're offering this update to compatible devices only, but your device isn't quite ready for it yet. Once your device is ready, you'll see this update option become available on this page. So under my Windows Update, it's basically saying, oh no, we've detected something on your computer, whether it be software or hardware based, that could cause problems with this particular update. So we're going to go ahead and not roll it out to you. But just keep in mind, the reason that they have that option to begin with is because they tanked a bunch of people's boxes that reported this issue. And so it's literally Russian roulette. If you're running Windows and you're just letting it install the latest updates all the time, you're playing Russian roulette, because Microsoft selects a small block of people, and then if that goes okay and they don't see an influx of new failures, then they release it to a larger group, and then ultimately everybody. So, but it's Russian roulette as to who that first group is. So if you happen to just be the guy that gets picked in that first 10,000 user rollout and they tank your box, oh, woe is me, you get to be the guy that reports the issue and suffers all the pain, and then Microsoft will go and correct it so that nobody else has to suffer it. And I think that's a shitty model.
It is. It saves them how much millions, though, in QA? Like, come on. It's production.
You think? Well, here's the thing: is that yes, in the long run, it does save them money if you just look at like how much they would be putting out to pay employees and stuff. But on the other side of things, does it really save them money when they have like 1 million tech support calls in like 24 hours from people that are like, "Oh my god, my business is burning to the ground," and all the class action lawsuits when like people can't run their business because like Windows crashed after an update?
Yeah.
It just seems to me like it's actually not worth it in the long run. Hey, Nick, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, I'm building out a server 2019 instance. I got a free key as a part of college to self-manage local Windows update deployments and other features. Well, that's cool. Nice. Dude, a free server key. That's how much does server key cost? I haven't even looked in a long time. I know it used to be pricey.
Oh, especially now, because it's per core.
No.
Per core, yeah. Windows Server. I can't remember at what point, but it's a per core license now.
Let's see here.
For
geez, $558 for a 16 core license.
Yeah.
A 24 core is $1,000. Holy shit! So yeah, you definitely don't want to be running server on your AMD EPYC machine.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be paying through the nose. What's the biggest core they go up to?
Licensing calculator from Wintel guy. A minimum of 8 core licenses is required for each physical processor, and a minimum of 16 core licenses is required for each server. Standard edition provides rights for up to 2 operating system environments or Hyper-V containers when all physical cores in the server are licensed.
What a ripoff. Dude, that's crazy.
Insane.
Like, okay, so here's what makes this funny to me. Is you'd think that the price of an operating system would be contingent on what it gives you, like the features it gives you, right? Like they add more. You know, right. It's kind of like those cars, like the Super Leggera Ferrari, where it's like they rip out like $50,000 worth of shit, and then sell it to you for $100,000 more because it's super light. Well, of course it's light. You literally robbed it. You literally broke out the windows, stole the stereo, ripped out all the carpet, like stole the good seats, and sold it for $100,000 more with like caulking visible on the floor because there's no carpet or sound dampening. So it's the same thing with Windows, because it's like you're paying for cores, but the thing is they don't have to change anything. Like there's no difference in the operating system between 16 and 24 core support. None.
Yeah. Like why would there be?
Yeah, the kernel already supports it. Even in the Pro product, it's like you can have 64 cores. Now in like the Pro product and run Windows Pro, like why would you have to pay per core and server? It's like the kernel in the house is going to be exactly the same, regardless of how many cores that you're running on the system. The multi-threading system in Windows does not change when you have more cores. If you have more than one core, you use a multi-core HAL and then you're just done. Like the kernel already supports it. So I don't get why they would make it contingent on that. It seems like it would make more sense if they made it contingent on something like maximum amount of storage, you know, like or like some weird backplane or something that you need in the server that, you know, requires like additional driver support or something. At least something that's not just like already baked in and you get for free.
You would think so.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that. I do know that back a long time ago, not like when I left Microsoft, but back when I first started working there, when Windows 2000 dropped, which was one of the second operating system I helped ship, they had a SKU of it called Data Center. And I think they still have a data center SKU today, but it's basically a really stripped down version of Windows. They rip everything out of it. Like it doesn't even have like paint. Like there's nothing. It's the most bare bones operating system that Microsoft could possibly create. And it was like a license for it was like $8,000 or $16,000.
Wow. They do still have a data center edition of Windows Server. It is ideal for highly virtualized and software-defined data center environments.
That's just the fancy speak for we ripped everything out of it, so it's super duper lightweight as a virtual host. That's it. Let's see, how much does data center cost now? Whoa, okay, it's still pretty damn expensive. Okay, so Windows Data Center 16 core is hold on here, where is it? Okay, so 16 core data center is $10,000. What?
Yep.
Why?
Because they can. That's why the 2080 Ti is $1,200. It's because they can.
So okay, no, that's so the open license version. I don't even know what that even means, honestly. There's an open license version that's $10,000, and then there's a standard edition 16 core data center that's $5,000. But still,
money there,
right? It's got one review of 5 stars. I bet you that was a Microsoft employee. Somebody who got an MSDN license for like nothing. You know what cracks me up, though, is I actually have, somewhere in a spreadsheet, I have probably 500 product keys for server, pro, home, because I was an MSDN subscriber. Microsoft paid like $20,000 a year for me to be a premium developer MSDN subscriber for like 5 years, and they gave it to me a year after I was laid off. So I just go in there and just like be like, give me my 5 keys every day, copied out, put it into the thing. Every day you can get 5 new keys for every SKU of every product. And so, go ahead.
Oh, I said that's awesome.
Yeah, it's somewhere. I should go look up that spreadsheet, because the reason I did it was because I was doing development work back then, and I wanted to deploy VMs, and I wanted to have multiple VMs. So, and to have multiple VMs, I didn't want to use the same code on each and every one of them. So I had some allocated for VMs, some allocated for my computers in my house. I used to run server. I had a Windows Server product, but then I realized that Pro was actually way more effective on that hardware than running the server SKU. Like, there's no point to it, because the server SKU was like so lean and mean. Like, I couldn't run any of my software on it. Like, even trying to build like a .NET application and run it, it's like, oh, you got to download this module and download this module and disable this security and install this. I was like, nope, I'll just put Pro on here. And so, but I don't think you can run Pro is a business. I don't think you're like, I think in their end user license agreement, you're not supposed to run Pro if it's being used for a server application, even though you can technically use it as a server application.
Weird.
So they got some weird shit that they do in there. Hey Nick, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, my school gave all of us engineers access to MSDN with a crap ton of software. There doesn't seem to be a limit of cores on my server license key. I don't know. They might have a SKU that's just like ride or die, just do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense too. I remember when I was in college in software for software development, they gave us free licenses to all kinds of stuff. Like, I had I think it was Windows XP at the time, free license for that. We could have gotten like Server 2004. There was the .NET, like the full .NET suite, like anything you could want from there. So yeah, you get a really good deal from, especially a lot of tech colleges give you, they just throw money at that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird. So let's see. We talked about Streamlabs OBS, Windows 10, 2000. Who here in chat is in Windows 2004 right now? Who has the update and hasn't had any problems? I'm guessing the majority of people haven't had problems.
I'm up to date. It says feature update to Windows 10 version 2004. The Windows 10 May 2020 update is on its way. We're offering this update, but your device isn't quite ready. So I'm not on 2004 yet.
I'm curious if they did that to everybody. I am genuinely curious now if that's actually based on a hardware configuration or software configuration, or if they just know that they fucked up and they just literally put that up for everybody else. like everybody that doesn't have 2004, like, open up Windows Update and see if you've got that feature update for Windows 10 2004 is on its way. You're not compatible with it yet. Because I'm starting to think Microsoft just did that, like, as a blanket statement that's like, oh shit, we fucked up. Let's go ahead and just not distribute any more copies until we figure this out internally and fix it.
Looks like I'm on 1903.
Oh shit, you're like 2 builds behind, man.
I mean, I last checked updates 2 days ago.
Bitch, you got to be on 1909.
Oh shit, when was that?
Dude, 1909 is the shit. Are you on did you go in and say like delay all my updates by like 3 months?
No, I leave all that stuff. Oh, here we go. I'm getting a security intelligence update for Microsoft Defender antivirus.
That's not it.
Update for Windows 10 version 1903.
Yeah, because you should be on 1909 build 18367. So, and that was a huge update, by the way. The 1903 to 1909, there was a huge feature turn there. So that's probably something you might want to pick up.
I think when I reboot after this, I'll be up. It's paused on one right now.
Yeah, I actually want to do a completely new clean install on my box, but I'm worried about, because I don't think I would experience the same problem doing clean installs, because clean installs are the one scenario they test heavily at Microsoft, because everything they do is a clean install. They don't do updates hardly anymore. So I wanted to do a clean install, but my worry about that now is with 2004 until they fix it. It's like, one, if I install it, am I going to encounter all these problems? That's my first concern. And my second concern is like, when the next update comes out, and I got to update from that, is there gonna be some fucking problem because I started out with that as the clean point, right? I didn't roll back to like 1909 and then go forward again. So I'm like really apprehensive, but at the same time, it's like there's no guarantee the next update's gonna be any better, right? Microsoft has a history of fucking this stuff up. So, dude, people, man, the fanboys came out hard at me like last week. Did you see that? I called out the 2004 update being all fuckered up, and oh my god, did I just get like just skewered.
Like Twitter haters?
Oh, it's the Twitter haters, man. The Twitter haters just came out and they're like, you're just mad because you got laid off 7 years ago. And I still run Windows on everything. I still make videos on Windows, showing people how to use it. All my dev shit's on Windows. Like, I don't have it out for Microsoft. I just want them to fix their shit.
Yeah.
That's it. But everybody wants to jump to that quick conclusion that's like, oh my God, he's complaining about it, so he must, it must be because of this or this. Why don't you just look at the obvious thing? It's a piece of shit when it's broken, and it's not a piece of shit when it's not. So I just want him to fix it. It's that simple. It's really that simple.
I don't know.
I do miss MSDN though. I wish I still had an MSDN. Like that was pretty cool. It's like unlimited product keys, access to all the dev database. Like when I did the Codgasms and stuff, I could go look up any API and not just get like the basic documentation. I could get all the dev documentation, all the dev commentary. I could go to the forum for that API and see everybody talking about it and putting code snippets. It was really cool. Let's hear. Can I please join Discord?
No.
Everybody can join Discord.
No.
The Discord server is 100% open to everybody. For some reason the other day, I don't know, I must have some verbiage wrong somewhere, because I had two people on my live stream the other day over on Twitch say, oh, your Discord is only available to people on Patreon. And it's like, no, it's available to everybody, but if you're a patron, you just get a role. It just gives you a role that like changes the text color or something like that. It's like, no, Discord's open to everybody.
You're absolutely right. Only patrons can get into the Cool Kid Discord. Okay, you guys, this is a pleb Discord. You guys are totally fine with that, I guess, if you want.
Matthew said, "Is that where'd you get that thorn? Oh, baby, this is custom made. That is custom. Oh shit, the panel fell off the side. I gotta find it. So yeah, that is 100% 3D printed, custom made. It lights up when the batteries aren't dead and there's not a missing battery. But yeah, it lights up when you pull back the hammer. It's like it's really freaking cool. But it was made by CME CNC. They actually made this and painted it and sent it to me like a long time ago. And then they asked me to like send it back when I was done with it, and that was like 3 years ago. So I think that's the trick. If any company ever asks for anything back, you basically just ignore them for like 3 years, and then you can keep it. I think that's the unwritten code. Oh man, I have quite the backlog though. Let's be honest. Let's hear. MD Hofsty said, "I'm on 18363. Is that bad?" Let me see. Which version is that? 18363. Nope, that's good. You're on 1909. You're on the build right before Microsoft screwed the pooch with 2004.
I thought that was the update number.
Update. Okay. So Microsoft has several numbers. Okay. So they have a build number, which is literally the iterative build. So every time they do a main build, the number iterates by one. So 1909 and 2004 means that the difference between the two is how many builds have occurred in that branch before they released it to the public. Now, really, in reality, there was thousands of builds, but that's the main builds, the ones that they built for. Yeah,
milestone updates. Yeah,
exactly. Those are the ones built for the public. So, and then there's another one, which is the actual like minor build number, the major and minor build number, and that's where you get the version. So like when you see it's like 18637.778, that's actually like the major and minor build numbers, and those are mostly used for like compatibility checks. Okay. So like when you're checking to see if the operating system like has a certain feature, if you're past a certain point, which I don't know why they don't just use the build number, but I think it's because build numbers can repeat. They're not guaranteed to be the same. Like they could reset for another project and go back to like 1,000. And then there's another number that I think is the shit. I don't even know what they call it. It has a letter in it though. Let me see here. Let's see. Windows build 2004. I think it's for the insider ring. They use another build number that actually is hex. And it'll be like 24E7 or something like that. And actually, I don't recognize that build. I don't know what that number implies. So let me see here if I can figure it out real quick. So let's see. Windows May 2020, the 2004 build, 19041 is the official build number. Let's see. Scrolling through here. Confusing names aside, this feature update is for new Windows version 2004. Oh, here we go. Okay, so version 2004 is formerly known as version 20H1. So that was like, and I think that is more like the target, like the internal designation of it, like not the build number, but what they call the entire project. Like going from 1909 to 2004 is the 20H1 project. And then they might have like 20H2 and then move to like 21H1. It's basically like the project number. And that's not visible anywhere that I know of in the operating system. That's just something that Microsoft uses to reference it. Because the other two numbers are dynamic and change all the time. They need a number that doesn't, right? So they have one that's the whole project, then they have a number that's the actual build, and then they have the version, which is, I believe, the final target version they actually shoot for. Like, they know what it's going to be ahead of time. Okay. But I don't know if they do that anymore. I think that used to be the case. But yeah, it's very, very confusing with all these build numbers and stuff running around. But realistically, the only thing that's super important that you need to know about these days is just the build number. That's the easiest one to remember. It's just 4 digits. And the build number is the most widely used thing. It's what a Windows update's going to use to inform you of what you're installing. It's not going to say that it's the 20H1 update. It's going to say that this is the Microsoft Windows 10 2004 update. So that's going to be how most people recognize it. And most people ask you what update you have.
I see.
So,
well, there you have it, folks.
Oh, hey, this just in.
What's that?
So I know we try to keep politics mostly out of this, but Mr. John Bolton's book got approved to release.
I saw about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta order that up.
It's super weird because like the Cheeto was like, oh, big court win. Yes, hooray. And it's like, bro, it's too late. It basically, so for those who haven't, the gist, the TLDR, the court said Bolton's, they give a bit of a finger wag to him for saying the things that he has, but they're like, it's too late, Yeah. We stop him because he's already got review copies out and things like that. And it's like, they kind of scolded him for being kind of like a butthead, I guess, for saying whatever it is he's saying. But there's like, it's going to come out. There's nothing we can do. It's already out. In fact, there's like review copies are out. The publisher has sent copies to distributors and stuff. Like it's coming out on Tuesday. There's nothing that we can do. It's like it should have been 6 months ago, and like this has been a long time coming, and only just now you're going to try and stop it when it's literal days away from release. I could pre-order the audiobook version right now. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh, you can actually get the audio version now? Because I'd rather get the audio version, honestly.
I did see it on Audible.
It's funny, Keith in chat's like, Bolton lovers? What the fuck? I don't like Bolton. I think Bolton's a piece of shit.
I don't know the guy. He only just recently, he was national security advisor since Reagan or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But his name is top of mind right now. But yep. From the little that I've heard and seen, he seems kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, he is. He's a total unequivocal piece of shit. But the thing is that's not why I want the book. The reason I want the book is because even though he's a total unequivocal piece of shit, he has a long-term history of telling the truth. Yeah. And Cheeto doesn't want me to see what's in that book. So that makes it just more like awesome. Like I want to see that book now.
Just to have a copy of it. Because it's going to be one of those books probably that's going to be like, bro, you got a copy of that? Like what?
Plus, it's like you know it's gonna be good because Trump Stormy Daniel'd it. We're basically remember when he's like, oh, I didn't do anything with Stormy Daniels, and then the check comes out of her and he's like, she breached her contract. I'm gonna sue the shit out of her for talking. Like, dude, you just admitted it. Like he did the same thing with Bolton. He's like, don't believe anything in the book. It's all a lie, dude. You haven't even read the book. It's not even out yet. You didn't even get a copy of it. So the fact that he's making those assumptions. Go ahead.
It's part of it too. It's like you can't, in the same sentence, you cannot say, "Oh, it's all lies," and he's talking about classified stuff. Like if it's classified and it legitimately classified information, then it's true. And there's some talk that he's like violating NDAs, right? Yeah. But I think there's been a previous court decision that says federal employees cannot actually be held to those NDAs. Like now that is not to say that they're allowed to like distribute classified information. That's different.
Right.
Classified stuff is different. But NDA don't I think it comes under like federal whistleblower laws or something that you can't be held liable to these like NDAs and stuff. There's probably some details to that where like, oh, if you're actually talking about like illegal information or illegal acts or something, because it comes up blower thing, but you can't just be like blah blah blah. So
yeah, and anyways, it was already vetted. Like for 6 months they vetted it. They just sat on it because they didn't want anything to happen, right? They wanted to ignore it and make it go away.
And that's the thing. Is like, now that he's complaining about it, it's going to be like a #1 bestseller for
it totally is. He's like, I tweeted, I said, dude, you literally are Bolton's best publicist. Like, he played you like a fiddle, dude. Like a fiddle. You straight up like went crazy about it. So now every single person's like, oh my God, why does Trump not want me to see it? Why does Trump not? Because he ignores everything. Like, Trump ignores stuff if it's insignificant. Like, it's not worth his time, right? It's like the fact he put that attention on it, like, literally validates it. Like, you gotta look at that book now.
Yeah.
So It'll be interesting. If anything, it'll be one of those things where it's like, I just, even though there's not a lot that you can do about it now, thanks Bolton. But at least you can read about it and you can be like, oh, okay, at least now we can like verify that he is doing these things, and he is embarrassed about it, which means that he knows it's wrong. Like, he absolutely knows it's wrong. So intent, you got intent and all that, but like, is it going to go anywhere? Probably not. People are just used to him being this way. Like, this is nothing new to anybody that supports him. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, this is cool. He's a real guy, because apparently being a real guy means that you're just a total douche nozzle. Right. But yeah, anyways, I saw that just pop up, and I was like, because I was kind of curious to see how the judge was going to rule on that, because it could have gone either way, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. But it's too late now. Like,
it's too late. I think the judge. What was the judge's exact words? I was listening to the news. He said like he let the horse was already out of the stable.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, he's like, because it was funny because did you see the press conference where Trump's sitting behind the table, and he's like what he did is illegal and he's a traitor and we're gonna block that book or whatever, and one of the people asking him questions, one of the reporters holds up his book because they already got a copy.
Oh, gee.
And he's looking at it. He's just like, well, I already got the copy right here, sir. I was like, this is awesome. Because he's talking about how he's blocking it and like it's never going to see the light of day and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, dude, we already got our copies. Like, dude, he sent them to us last week. So, Bolton knew that was going to try to get slapped down. So, he was just like, oh, I'm going to be a little stinker and send it out to as many people as humanly possible. Almost like, what do they call that? A dead man switch. It's like dead, so like if he goes missing or he gets shut down or whatever, it's like it's already out there. Like, even if he doesn't make a dime off of it because it just gets leaked to the public, he didn't care.
And there has been some talk about that where he might not get the profits from the book, that like the court might step in and say any money made from the book has to go back to the government because it's government data.
Yeah.
So there's some talk about that, but like, who cares? The dude's gonna get speaking engagements, he's gonna get interviews, he's gonna get, like, he's famous for a little bit, he's gonna make gobs of money even if it's not from the book.
He will. Sorry, I'm just having fun in chat. So some guy got like really, really irate that I talked about the book. He's like, oh my god, your politics, shut the fuck up. I'm like, be better, just be better.
Look, you can't avoid it, okay?
You can't.
You at some point, like, this comes back around to what we've talked about. I think it's come up at least the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to have an opinion. You have to. And, like, with everything, especially with everything that's been going on this year, holy fuck, you have to.
It's a roller coaster.
You can't stay neutral. You can't. Like, there are literal war crimes going on. There are, like...
Yeah.
It's just you have to at some point say something, especially if you have a public face. You have to. I mean, that's, and honestly, especially for guys like Jerry and I who like are, for me, I'm trying, but Jerry has like a platform. He has an audience to speak to. It's important. It's important to speak in an opinion. And frankly, it's, I'm sure, Jerry, you're losing followers left and right. Subs are dropping off of YouTube for the things that we talk about here.
Oh, sure, and it's but to me that actually doesn't matter. Like, in the grand scheme of things, this is way too important. It's
the wheat from the chaff, honestly. Like, and you know what though? Like, we've talked about this too. We can have differing opinions.
Yeah.
Totally, and you and I and me and the audience and whatever, totally okay. I'm not here to convince you to my point of view. I've long ago gave up trying to convince people that, and it's not even about right or wrong. It's not. It's this is how I feel. This is how I view the world. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that you're wrong if you disagree. We just have a different perspective. It's like when people disagree. If I point at the dress, remember the dress?
Yeah, the blue or gold. Yeah.
Like, people see things differently. People are going to view the world through a different lens, a perception filter. It's called in certain psychology avenues or whatever. A perception filter. and it's very, very difficult to change a person's perception filter, like especially once they're an adult. Like, you're pretty locked in. People tend not to be able to adjust their points of view. And really the only thing we can do is continue to say, this is how I feel, this is the way I view the world, this is how I think. And if you change your mind, great. But I'm not trying to pull you onto my path. I'm not. I will continue along my path, and if you can come along or not, you can go down your path. Like, we can be parallel, we can be in lockstep or not. It's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. Certain things will make you a bad person, but we won't go down that path. and there are points in time too where it's like, look, if you do hold a certain opinion, I can't have you in my circle, because it's such a dissonance, right? It's such a disconnect from how I see the world that I can't empathize with you, that I just can't, and that's okay too.
A lot of it is environmental. Like if you surround yourself, in a certain environment with certain people and everything like that, it is really hard to recognize other points that are outside of that, because you have that chamber that you're in, right? We're all guilty of it. We all have that, and the internet kind of opens that up. The internet changes things in that department, where it's like our environments can change like daily to the minute, on social media and things like this, the people that we interact with. But our largest group that we interact with tends to kind of be the people that stick together, right? That might be of a like mind on things.
Absolutely. You are the sum of the 5 or 6 people that you spend the most time around.
I totally agree.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, totally. And that goes for kids. That goes for and that actually highlights a good way to change your outlook on things. Like, say you genuinely, like, man, this feels weird. I don't like, you hang out with a bunch of people who are a bunch of losers, whatever, right? You all just, and this is if you have the mindset of like, man, I want to make something of my life, but like, I can't get out of this shitty town. Stop hanging around with the people who aren't going to get out of that shitty town.
Yeah.
Find, like, all it takes is one extra cool person who's on the same track as you, that wants the same things as you, that has a vision of the future that you do, and it can completely change your whole world. Totally. You have to find people who have what you want, really, or who are in a place in their lives that you want to emulate, and spend time around them. That's why I need to spend more time around Jerry and Adam and Robert and things like that, is because I want to have a life similar to that. And that's why my brother is doing so well with his side hustle right now, is because he's doubled down on those relationships that are supportive of where he wants to go.
Yeah. I'll tell you another trick that you were getting at right there is, surround yourself with people that you consider smarter, even if it's one area. Like, surround yourself with people that are more intelligent than you are, if in all areas possible, but in some area, because if you just surround yourself with people that just visualize you as like some kind of a god figure, which is another problem that you have being a YouTuber, let me tell you, holy shit, is you end up getting used to people just thinking that you're so intelligent, so you never really like push yourself and advance yourself any further. You end up stagnating. And it's like, when you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, whether you recognize it or not, it's actually pulling you up. It's actually, it's forcing you to become more intelligent, to be more aware, to notice those things. But if you just accept that you're the smartest guy in the room, you've got nowhere to go. You've got absolutely nowhere to go. So I'm a firm believer in, choose your friends as people that are either more intelligent than you, more street smart than you, have better instincts than you do. It's like, find those people and seek out those people, and it'll help you go where you want to go. If that's where you want to go, right? I mean, it's all, again, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. But for me, I like to be around people that can teach me stuff, people that I learn things from.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't like being around people that just reminisce about the same things and have the same level of knowledge and are basically cookie cutters of each other. As a matter of fact, I usually don't get along with people very well that are just like me. which is interesting because you'd get in a room with me and it'd be two funny guys just going at it and stuff, but you'd be surprised. It actually like greatly makes things difficult and raises the tension when you get two ADHD squirrel chasers in a room together that really don't have anything to do but drag each other down. It's like Myers-Briggs. Have you ever done the Myers-Briggs study?
Yeah.
So I did the Myers-Briggs study, and they basically said that my type, I'm in like the 4% bucket or something, and I basically am classified as do not work well with others. I'm classified in a bucket that says that you need at least one of me in every team, but never more than one. And I thought that was funny. I can't remember the letters. They designate you with a set of 4 letters, but the letters that I was, they're like, listen, you do not play well with others. You do not, but every team needs one of you, but only one of you, because if you put more than one of you on that team, it's a disaster. And if you don't put one of you on the team, then everybody else basically will falter because they need you basically to play off of to do their jobs well. And I was like, is this a compliment or an insult? I don't know. like it was a really weird place to be, and they demonstrated it because it was a Microsoft paid for event that we went to, and physically there was a guy driving the study and putting us through the testing. And what they did is they took and picked groups. Like once everybody had their designation through testing, the next day was group these people together and give them a task. Like, here's a whiteboard, everybody figure out a problem. And what they did is they showed us, here's what happens when you put a team together that has the correct amount of each group, basically. Like piece the people together that work the best together. And they built those groups and they had to solve a problem. And everybody solved the problem. It was very, very fast. It was very, very smooth. And then just to illustrate the point, they built the teams in the exact opposite. The worst that you could possibly do. Like a team of mostly Jerrys, one person who's an arrogant introvert that fucking hates everybody. And it was a train wreck. Like nobody completed the task. Nobody completed the task because all we did was just argue and bicker and yell, and the room volume went way up high. It's funny, you don't want to think that that you're in a bucket, but you kind of are. Like Myers-Briggs proved to me that you are in a bucket. At least in a professional working environment, when you have a common goal, it's like you can put the wrong people together that will never be able to solve even the simplest of problems, and then all you do is just rearrange them a little bit. And the same group of people, you just put them in like 2 subgroups, you swap them around a little bit, now all of a sudden you have 2 groups that are highly capable of finishing the same task. It's a trip. I highly recommend going through it if you ever get the chance at work. Bipolar is a tool. I'm a firm believer in mental disorders can absolutely be a tool. Because one thing I found out about ADHD early on is that ADHD is like a superpower of hyperfocus if you're interested in what you're doing and you have no distractions.
That's the thing, right?
Yep. My ADHD is what made me a good developer at Microsoft for many years. Like before I was a father and before, I had to balance my brain and my time and resources between multiple things and always be like, thinking about stuff. I would just go into my office at work and just the only time I'd leave is to take a piss and to get a coffee. And I would just work for like 12 hours and it would go by like that. And when everybody else was going home, I was still there because I was just so involved in the programming. I was like, I'm not leaving until this is done. And I'd look at the clock and it'd be like 1 a.m. And I'm like, oh shit, I should probably go home and get a little bit of sleep, and that stuff just came naturally. I didn't have to force it. And then later on in life, when I started having distractions, it made things a lot harder. And that's when I finally decided to go and become medicated so that I could balance a little bit more. But I absolutely lost a piece of me by getting medicated. It was a trade-off. It's like, do I work well with multiple inputs or do I just work insanely well with one input? But like literally if a noise happens in the distance, I'm distracted and go chase it.
Yeah.
And but I can flip that switch on and off. That's the nice thing about it is to treat ADHD, use stimulants. And the nice thing about stimulants is you just stop taking them. Like, just don't drink coffee. Like, if you want to be raging ADHD or whatever, just don't take your amphetamines or whatever, your Adderall or your Ritalin. Don't take that and instead switch to coffee or switch to some other lighter stimulant. And then you notice it just comes back. Like, as long as you're focused and you're involved in what you're doing, oh man, all that crazy just comes back and works brilliantly. But I'll tell you what, my boss had to put, like, just to give you an idea of how ADHD I was when I worked at Microsoft, and my boss will attest to this, it was funny. He'd have to actually come over and put a sign on my door. He'd close my door in my office, and he'd put a sign on my door that says, "Do not disturb." And at first, I thought it was like a joke, but no, he told me that he's like, anytime anybody walks by your office, you talk their ear off for like 45 minutes. He's like, anytime somebody comes in your office and says hello, you don't just say hello back. You literally like just disappear for hours. He's like, I don't mind that usually. Like, you get your work done, you do a really good job. But he's like, when we're like on we have to deliver something in 24 hours or we get our ass handed to him, I need you focused. So, and it worked. Like, he'd literally come over, close my door, put the do not disturb sign on. I'd put my phone on do not disturb so that if anybody called my office, they'd go straight to voicemail. And I would close my email program, and then I would just focus 100% on the task, and I would just crank that shit out at light speed. But any distractions. And I was like, squirrel.
I got that too, yeah. but apparently not bad enough.
Well, like I said though, coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, which I know you are,
Oh, yeah.
coffee and energy drinks. Even though energy drinks aren't inherently good for you, I got kidney stones. I can't really drink them much anymore. Like I may be able to have the occasional Red Bull, but I would highly recommend that if you're ADHD and you can't get treated medically, just use caffeine. Caffeine works just as good. It's just you have to constantly regulate it. You have to figure out exactly how much you need every hour because it's quick in and quick out. It's not slow release like a medical amphetamine is. So you have to basically have a thing where it's like, oh, drink a coffee. Okay, it's been an hour. Drink a coffee. Oh, it's been an hour. Drink a coffee. You have to figure out how fast your body comes up and down off of caffeine and then like play this balancing act with it in your metabolism. But you can do it. It can be done. Like when I worked at Microsoft before I was medicated, I drank 12 cups of coffee a day. After I was medicated, I drank 2 cups of coffee a day. So, and it wasn't that it was just I craved 12 cups of coffee when I didn't have any other stimulant because that's like what my body had become accustomed to and what made me work most effectively.
Yeah.
So coffee is your friend. Just drink lots of water so you don't get kidney stones because my God, kidney stones hurt. Hey, Shikadance, thank you for that $5. Shikadance. He said, I was born in 1970 and I have ADHD. Back then, they just called me hyper, but put me outside the door of my classroom. Oh, and they put you outside the door of your classroom? That's hilarious. Yeah, I did terrible in school. Like, a lot of people think that I'm like some super genius level dude. Oh, I worked at Microsoft for 15 years. I climbed the ranks, top 5% employee, decorated by Steve Ballmer, Bill Gates, Will Poole, Jim Alchin. I mean, I have awards from like all those guys. And I was a fantastic software developer, but in school where they forced me to do something I didn't like to do, I sucked. Like they put me in special education. They tried to hold me back in 2nd grade and in 5th grade. I had to do homeschooling because I kept getting expelled because I just fight with other kids and stuff. They basically said that, I mean, they put the stamp on me, right? I was earmarked for being like this, trouble on society. And all it took for me to get out of that was to do something that I loved. And that's why when I started working at a computer store called Mother's Board Computers, it was like my passion. I looked forward to going to work. I loved being at work.
Yeah.
And it was Microsoft was the same way. Not always, trust me. There was stressful times at Microsoft where it's like I didn't want to be there. I almost quit. There was bad times, don't get me wrong. But by and large, when you look at the whole experience as a whole, it was amazing. Like I loved 99% of my 15 years at Microsoft. I really, really enjoyed what I was doing. I was really heavily invested in what I was doing. I had a lot of people that knew how to leverage me properly. That's another thing too. If you have management that sucks, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like get good management. Let's see here. What's going on over in chat? So here, let's segue into the Haddington Dynamics Spot robot finally going on sale.
Fucking robot dog now.
Robot dog.
It's like 75 grand.
Actually, you know what? That's cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, I
agree.
So
yeah.
Let me see. So Spot. Let me pull this up. Oh yeah, you put a link in Discord, didn't you?
I did.
Let me grab the link for that so we can take a look here. So if you guys don't know what Spot is, here, let me go ahead and copy the link and put it in the chat for y'all. This is what we're talking about right here. So Spot is a fully autonomous robot dog. Is basically what they refer to it, dog-like, and they gave one to Adam Savage to get it some attention. So Adam Savage, did you see those videos? So Adam Savage literally has done a bunch of things with his dog, but the one that's probably noteworthy is he connected it to a rickshaw and actually made it pull a rickshaw with him sitting in it.
Yeah, that was great.
It was awesome. Like of all the uses, like a $75,000 robotic dog, and he's like, pull my rickshaw. But they until today, well not today, whenever the story came out, June 16th. The only way to get one of these robot dogs was to lease it from Boston Dynamics. You had to pay them an absorbent amount of money per year. You weren't allowed to keep it and they had to do all the servicing on it and stuff like that. I think it's because it was still technically in development and they were field testing it. So they didn't want anybody to actually own one outright that they could disassemble, right? The part of the lease agreement is you can't take it apart. You can't reverse engineer it. Well, apparently they've hit a point now where they're comfortable just like selling the thing for $74,000. And that really isn't a lot when you consider like what its capabilities are.
Yeah, that is, however, just the like base model. There's all kinds of add-ons for the thing. 15 grand for their service plan, another 4620 for another battery.
Oh, damn.
You want the arm thing, that's different. There's all kinds of like sensor packages and stuff you can add onto it, and it's pretty cool. Oh, you get free shipping for
free shipping. Dude, and it actually doesn't weigh that much either. I think it only weighs like 60 or 70 pounds. And for its size, if you see how big it is, like that actually isn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Its payload carrying capability, I think, is only like 30 pounds or something like that. It's not a lot. Like, it's not designed to carry heavy payloads. What they want to use it for is navigating tricky environments to inspect things. So like finding people buried under rubble if a building collapses, sending it into mines, sending it into areas to like inspect oil, like sending down like an oil tube or something like that. It's basically designed to traverse obstacles too, and it can do it on its own. Which is actually like that's what makes this thing so special. Is it's not that it just walks like a dog. It's the fact that you can literally just pick up like, you know, an iPad device and say, "Go here, Spot. I need you to get here because I need to see something here." And it'll figure out. It'll trip and stumble and fall over and roll around and learn and figure out how to get over that obstacle, like using all of its abilities. So that's what makes this thing so damn cool. Is its ability to like traverse stuff in its regular RC mode where you just drive it around. Basically, you just like say forward and turn left, turn right. That's unremarkable to me. Like, even though it's cool, it's unremarkable. What's remarkable to me is you can tell the thing, I want to go up these stairs and I want to go to this room on this floor. You know, when it's programmed into it with the you can put these points, like these little QR codes on stuff. And for like using it in a factory, for instance, like you could use this robot in an Amazon factory, and you put little QR codes on things, and it can use that as like a navigation. It'll basically like stumble around like a Roomba and find those things and map the entire area out using like a LiDAR. If you get the LiDAR attachment, which I think is like $21,000.
So just the LiDAR is $18,450. If you want the awareness package as well, it's $34,570.
That's crazy, dude. Okay, so the base model, you're pretty much all you're going to get is just the cameras that are built into them. So you're going to basically be like, oh, I want to go from here to here, and it's going to go there. If you want like LiDAR where it can 3D scan its environment, you're going to be paying. You're going to be over 100 G's once you get the battery. Plus the battery life, I guess, isn't that great either. Did you hear about that?
No.
So I think with the battery on it, it only has like a runtime of like an hour. Or something like that. It's not very long. Like, I thought that it would have a way, way longer runtime, seeing as they were targeting this for use in factories and stuff like that. But I wonder if it can change out its battery autonomously. That's the one thing I don't know is, like, does it have a way to, like, go sit on a pad and charge or something? Like,
I did see a charger add-on, and it looks like a little briefcase.
See, because that's the thing I don't know is, like, it's got to be able to charge itself, right? Because it's not going to be very useful if it just runs for an hour or whatever and then just shuts down. Like, you need it to be like a Roomba where it's like it comes back to home base, takes a squat, starts charging, and then the next one takes off. But dude, they're creepy when you watch them move around, when you see it do its little dancing thing.
Man, it is so cool. I knew from the very beginning this was going to be a super freaking cool thing. Like, dude, this is amazing.
It is. Nobody does robotics like Boston Dynamics. Like, if you watch Boston Dynamics videos of like their big robot, what's their big robot called? He's got a name. It's like, is it Atlas or something? Yeah, it is. Okay, the Atlas. So Boston Dynamics, if you look up the Atlas, it's basically their human analog robot that's a bipedal. Right. And they show this thing like running and jumping and doing flips over tables, and it doesn't look real. It literally looks CGI because of how like digital it is when it's doing its movements and going through it. But it's like they have videos of like wailing on it with like baseball bats and throwing bags of sand at it and abusing it. There's like a whole set of memes on the internet of people just like abusing this robot. Even Corridor did a video, Corridor Digital.
Don't get fooled by the Corridor video though, because
that's fake. but it's so real. When you see this thing move in real life, and it's like, you know, everybody else is still doing the bipedal robots that are like hanging from chains and shit from the ceiling, and it's like Boston Dynamics is like, no chains. This thing will like run through a room, run upstairs, jump over stuff, fall over, right itself, get back on its feet. They are so far ahead of every other robotics company when it comes to motion. Like, they've cracked that code, and I'm sure it's software. I'd imagine it's like 90% software, because looking at the construction of the robots, there's nothing really remarkable about it. I mean, it's just heavy duty stepper motors and gearing. Like, there's no like weird proprietary stuff that I'm really seeing.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe some of the sensors and stuff.
Sensors, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the software that is making this work for sure.
It's pretty damn amazing. So we're gonna see like Boston Dynamics finally has hit market where they're selling a product which, I mean, God, they've been at this forever, right? It's like finally they've got something that's marketable, that's a revenue stream. They've got a production model that, you know, is like, you know, it's practical. The price on it isn't insane. Like when you think about, especially like I could totally see them using it for military applications, because they're already using what is it, Dogbot or whatever, the heavy lift robot that can carry like 600 pounds. Have you seen that?
It's basically a bigger version of Spot.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, it looks like a deer, like a digital deer or something. And it's designed so that you can put like a litter on top of it and bolt it down. Then you can put like in the battlefield, you could have this run over and basically lay down, put a soldier onto it, strap him down, and then this thing will just run the soldier back over like really complicated terrain and get it back to headquarters, or, you know, to the medic tent or whatever. And they've demoed it like a bunch of times, like even in snow where it's like sliding around and it's like skipping with its front feet and stuff. It's a trip to watch. It's absolutely like a pleasure to watch these robots work. And although I'd imagine that one, being that it's for military applications, probably costs like, you know, $16 million and the battery and it lasts for like, you know, 20 hours. Whereas Spot's more designed for like, you know, an urban environment. But I genuinely believe we're going to start seeing these Spot robots because it's a completely open platform. You can develop anything you want for it. Like they give you a full API, access to the sensors, everything. It's designed to be an open platform that you can literally, anything your imagination can come up with, you can get Spot to do. And so I'd imagine we're going to start seeing Spot, like, you know, now that it's for sale, you're going to start seeing it in like public places. You're going to start seeing this thing like stocking shelves in a store, or, you know, like Amazon already uses robots. Like they already have an effective system of robots that go around and follow lines on the floor and pull out boxes and bring them over and, you know, present them to the human to like load them into box. Like the human does not have to move through the warehouse anymore.
Yeah, it's super cool. Those big, it's like they look like giant Roombas.
They do. They're like Roombas with a giant rack on top of them. Like it's like a Roomba and a rack
around, and then like attached to like a rack and move them around. And it's such a cool thing.
It's really neat to see how an Amazon warehouse works. Like it's pretty badass. It's pretty badass. So, and then they have different types of robots there too. Like they have the robots that actually go and pick up the pallets and bring them to you, so you don't have to walk around to like stop repetitive stress disorders. They have the robot with like the big long arm that can like pull stuff out of the boxes, and actually that's the one that they're working on now. That's basically going to replace all humans. And then they're going to have the drone delivery service, which they're still working on. People think that that's abandoned because the media has kind of gotten, has stopped reporting on it because it's kind of old news. But they're still working on it. They're still working to get the FAA ruling, with enough redundancies that they can start flying these things in urban environments, and you can start having deliveries by drone.
I feel like that's going to be a little weird. Because honestly, if you're going to start people are going to start shooting these drones down out of the sky. Like real product. I feel like a better way to go is the like ground-based delivery, where it's like a secured box that roll up to your front door or whatever, ring the bell. Like, could you imagine like one of these Spots basically with an armored box on its back, and it's walking down the street. It comes up to your front door, rings the doorbell, and spits your packages out, and then walks away, because that kind of a thing. Or even like an autonomous truck basically that's filled. It's got hundreds of little robots on there and it like come to your neighborhood, and a bunch of drones come out with your packages and that kind of thing.
That would be cool. Like literally like have you seen the movie iRobot?
Yes.
Do you remember when they're in the tunnel and the big truck, like the two doors open on the truck and like 100 of those things jump out of each side? Because they're all like packed in there. Like, dude, imagine UPS being like that, where it's like the UPS truck is autonomous using level 5 AI driving technology. It pulls up in front of your house or into your cul-de-sac, and then just like 20 Spots just jump out the side with all the various packages, and then they just run to the house, drop it on the porch, and then come back and jump back in and start charging again.
Yep.
And so you could literally just have the truck like pull into an area, park, and then everything within like a half a mile radius, the Spots are all just like running down the sidewalk and delivering all the packages. Then they come back, get back in the truck, and that way the truck only has to drive to like very specific points to optimize how much fuel it's burning or how much energy it's using. And then all the Spots just jump off and run. Dude, that is going to be weird. I could totally see that happening.
I think it'd be cool.
I do think the drone delivery thing, though, has a lot of merit. It is scary, though. I think people will fear that, having things like literally over their heads. But if you think about it, we don't really think about it already. We have like 1,000 airplanes and jets flying over our head every day, and you don't think about it. You're not like, oh my God, is a jet going to fall on my house? So I think we'd get used to it.
I could see it more in a like point to point shipping sort of thing. Like, oh, the warehouse in Kentucky has the product you ordered, and so like, that sort of fulfillment where like, oh, you have 2-day Prime, but it's not in your state or whatever.
Yeah.
So they just commission a drone that's got your we need to send a bunch of shit to Washington, so the Kentucky robot just like it'll be high, it'll be like airplane level. It won't be 400 feet where you can just blast it out of the sky. It'll be
True.
like cargo drones, basically big, high up. Wah, okay, because then you eliminate the human element of that, and you could run 24 hours a day. You got these shipping drones that are moving product from all over the place.
The only thing that you benefit from, though, with the drone is the line of sight travel allows for super rapid delivery. So, and you'd only want to do it in metropolitan area where people aren't likely to be shooting in the air anyways, right? If people are shooting in the air, your police force needs to fucking up their game. If you got people like in the middle of Seattle just like shooting off into the sky, like rural area, absolutely people are going to just be shooting drones down. But do I think it's going to happen in like downtown Seattle? No. But the nice thing about the drone is it can go straight up, line of sight to the target and land, whereas a ground-based thing would have to deal with traffic. It would have to deal with following the law and obstacles, and then the inefficiency of having to go zigzag its way to the target. It probably is even going to consume more energy depending on how optimized the drone technology is. Another thing too is drones can be armored. There's a guy that built a drone that can take a direct 12 gauge shotgun blast from 20 feet away and survive it.
That's crazy.
So not with like a 1 ounce slug or anything, but like birdshot or buckshot, it can actually take a direct hit at 20 feet and survive it because basically the underside of it is all Kevlar and this new like level 5 body armor shit that's like super lightweight. It's even better than Kevlar. It's like really flexible. So he built this shell that you can just shoot the ever living shit out of, and the motors are protected from the bottom. So like you'll scatter. If you shoot at it, it basically scatters the shot so that the motors don't take any of the damage, and the blades themselves are so flexible that it won't punch holes through them. It'll basically just deflect the blade, then the blade will come back, and you're in business. So they are making drones that can survive like direct strikes from guns and stuff. So like shooting them down isn't going to be as easy as people think. Like shooting down like a Phantom, sure. You could probably shoot down a Phantom with like a fucking Daisy BB gun. They're not armored at all, right? I mean, you hit it in the motor, you hit it in the belly and disconnect the battery or cause a battery fire, boom, it's done. But I'd imagine that Amazon has thought about that through their testing, and they're gonna armor them to a certain degree. They have redundant motors. So a lot of failures can happen, and the thing's still gonna be safe to like get to its destination. But is that gonna stop kids from like tackling the thing when it like lands on the ground to drop the package off? Like, are you gonna go throw a blanket over it?
Yeah, that's why I mean it'd have to be like a shipping thing where like it's from one warehouse to another, and then it goes to like a ground robot. I don't think you'll ever have a drone really coming to your front door or like dropping it in your backyard and then flying off. It'd be too. I mean, they'd have GPS and some sort of tracking or something and blah blah blah. But like, there'd be. I feel like there'd be. It's too much of a chance of them getting damaged or captured or that kind of a thing. I don't know about like to the house air drones. I don't know. Yeah,
and I feel like GPS could be easily blocked. So like if you had like a mesh net, like chain mail or something, or even just aluminum foil, right? It's like run over and just chuck your blanket over the drone. You've obstructed the blades. You've killed the GPS. Load it in your truck and then just drive to your next destination. Steal another one. And then like once you have like all these drones, then you take them to your chop shop. You tear them down for parts. And like if anything else, you just recycle the bare metals, right? Melt them down. You got the aluminum. You got the copper and all these precious metals and the lithium and stuff. So I could see that there'd be a benefit to stealing them, but I think it'd be along those same lines as like the people that steal the Lime scooters, right?
Right.
Like it's a problem, but it's not a big enough problem that it affects the bottom line enough for them to stop doing it. Like I'm sure there's people that steal Lime scooters and rip the electronics out of them and like resell them on eBay and turn them into regular scooters and like spray paint them and stuff. I've seen it all, right? People do it. Sure. But I just don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. But the biggest problem is going to be the law states that you own like the property, like 200 feet above your house or something you own. Right. So like they do have to fly outside of that pattern. So they do have to fly at a fairly fairly decent height. And even at that level, like, are people still going to be concerned? Like, if you're outside just like chilling and having your drink, there's already people bitching about seeing satellites in orbit, fucking, 100 miles away. Oh my God, it's polluting my sky. I used to just look at the stars, but now I see these big strings of pearls going through the sky. I hate you, Elon. People are going to be complaining when they're outside and they hear,
They eventually just get used to it.
yeah, I think just like anything else, we would just get used to it. I'm sure when jets started flying around, people were like, oh my God, all I can hear all night is, and now we just like, you don't even, when was the last time you actively like heard a jet without like listening for it, right? Exactly. Hey, John Glooly, thank you for the 5 poundaroos, dude. He said, no question, just wanted to say you guys rock. You are appreciated and both are amazing. Oh, see that made me feel good.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. You're really amazing. Hey, Phantom Freak, thank you for the $2. Said, hey guys, love the show. Keep up the good work. Hey, we enjoy doing it, man. This is actually something that I look forward to every week.
Seriously, yeah.
Who doesn't want to look at that face? So, you're just a pretty man. I just have to say that you're just a pretty man. Hey, Shoe Nice, shout out to Shoe Nice over in the chat. I love that he pops in here all the time, man. Like his YouTube channel, like I grew up, Shoe Nice, I grew up on your shit, bro. Like you're old school YouTube. Like you're not the Jake Pauls and the Logan Pauls of the internet. You are old school proper YouTube, like what YouTube was meant to be. Is a grown ass man fucking chugging down bottles of alcohol and eating shit like eating a roll of toilet paper. That is what I expected from YouTube. That seems like it's a dying art, but he keeps it alive. Have you ever watched Shoe Nice? Have you, AuxxZillary? You owe it to yourself to check him out after the show. He's a special kind of treat. He's a snack. He's this guy that literally just will, anything you mail to him, he will find a way to ingest it like a goat. He's a human goat.
That's crazy.
Like the dude literally, I'm pretty sure if you sent him like a Nike sneaker and like a fifth of the shittiest alcohol you could buy, like bottom shelf plastic bottle Burnett's, like 151 distilled aircraft fuel, he'd literally just like make a video of him just like eating that shit in like 5 minutes. He's just, it's amazing. You have to watch it too, because it's like when I first started watching those videos, I thought they were fake. and then I did a little bit more research and I was like, no, this guy literally just has some fucking weird thing with his stomach where his body just doesn't reject anything. Like things that should kill, like drinking a fifth of alcohol should kill you. Like in one setting, like just chugging it down. That should give you alcohol poisoning. That should instantly just like fucking kill your liver and you should die. But for some reason with him, he just chugs the whole thing down and then goes and pisses it out. And like, it's like nothing. Like how? There's got to be some, like, have you been, Shoe Nice, have you been studied? Like, have you gone to like a medical university where they like hook sensors to you and do piss tests and stuff to like figure out why your liver is invincible? I'm curious.
That's cool.
I really want to know. Does he get drunk? Well, he seems like he's drunk all the time, really, if I'm honest. Like I'm pretty sure he's naturally drunk on life, so it's really hard to tell when he's like actually drunk, because he's basically like he's got a drunk man personality, which I love. So, but I can't say I've honestly ever seen him in a video seem like he got like completely trashed or shit faced, like. So it's weird. It's weird. Anyway, Shoe Nice is awesome. Go check him out. Give him a sub. He's a cool guy. Andy's super nice. Andy's massively intelligent, which is like, he's a whole lot of like stereotype defying things in one human being. Like you look at him and you see what he does and you're like, oh my God, this guy's dumber than a rock. But no, he's actually really fucking intelligent. What is it? Oh, Russians have to eat butter before drinking alcohol. Covers all. Oh shit, I lost it.
Stumig.
Covers all the stumig. So wait. So like the fat in the butter protects your stomach from making you vomit it up all the alcohol? Well, if you're drinking enough alcohol that your body wants to vomit it up, that's probably a good sign that you're vomiting. Wait, Vice did a documentary on Shoe Nice? No. How did I miss that? No. Hold on here. Hold on here. So, let's see here. Shoe Nice 22. Dude, he's Wikitubia? Who is this? Is there a Wikitubia page for me? I have never seen this. I want to see if I'm on Wikitubia. Hold on here.
Gut-wrenching story of Shoe Nice.
Nope, I'm not good enough to get a page on Wikitubia. Let's see. Okay, started a YouTube channel in 2008. Let's see here. In 2012, already having a fair amount of subscribers, got a channel boost when he was featured on several shows like The World's Dumbest and Tosh.0, making him very successful. Dude, I didn't even know he was on Tosh.0. See, Shoe Nice, I was watching your shit before Tosh.0, bro.
Easy.
I'm the OG, but God, if he did a Vice... Oh, he did do a Vice thing. Holy shit.
Gobbling down salt and baking soda, pieces of metal, glue, grass, and piles of sawdust, he found a way to win their love.
I found it. It's, yeah, there's a Vice video. Holy shit, I didn't know Vice did a video on him. So yeah, it's called Shoe Nice 22. Will eat anything for fame. Is the title of it. It's got 13 million views. How have I not seen this? Anyways, I'm gonna link this in chat so you guys can go check it out later. Yeah, I'm definitely watching this later. Holy shit, this is a 24-minute episode of Shoe Nice eating everything. When did they make this? 2013. My God, how did I not see this? Still blows my mind the shit I missed, dude. But anyways, check them out. Go ahead.
I like this line here. Some are unamused by Shoe Nice's faults and complete lack of comprehension of online etiquette.
People, he gets people pretty riled up. But no, he's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to watch. Just realize that, you know, don't do what he does, because the average human being, you're gonna go to the emergency room or you're gonna die if you do what he does.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. Wait, I'm sure he ate WD-40. I don't know if he did, but I've seen him drink stuff like you're not supposed to drink. Like, the dude literally drank like an entire bottle of, like, was it sriracha or hot sauce or something? He just chugged the whole fucking bottle down. And I was like, dude, that should have started like convulsions. Like, in a normal human being, that level of capsaicin or whatever, like, your body would instantly start convulsing. And like, he didn't even break a sweat. It was like, so I think his body just, like, whatever the thing is that's it. Oh, he did the cinnamon challenge. I guarantee you he's done the cinnamon challenge. I can almost guarantee I've seen that video.
Wow.
So, no, he can literally just eat anything. Like, and shit that you're not supposed to eat. Like, he eats an entire roll of toilet paper. Like, on a video, uncut, he takes a roll of toilet paper and just starts unrolling it and just feeding it in his mouth. And just, like, what? Now, toilet paper probably isn't... I mean, toilet paper is like, what, cellulose? So it's probably, you know, you're probably just going to shit that stuff out. But still.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any gag reflex either, ladies, or I should say guys. but yeah, he doesn't have any gag reflex because he can literally just like jam like an entire bottle of alcohol like down his throat and just dump it. It's just, oh my God. Let's hear him. MD Hofsty said, I can drink Valentina Black Label if I wanted to. Why does that ring a bell? Is Valentina like, is that like a bottom shelf garbage alcohol, or is that good alcohol? I can't tell. I genuinely don't know. I don't know my alcohols at all. I don't drink much anymore. I have like a Mike's Hard Lemonade like once a week now. And I basically consider myself an alcoholic now just from that, because that's so much more than I used to drink. Well, shall we move on to space, my friend?
Yeah, space stuff.
Because we love space. Space is a good thing.
Yeah.
And so I think, let me see, where's your link that you sent me?
The mysterious repeating radio bursts.
Yeah, what's up with that? I didn't see that one before the show. Like, here, give us the lowdown.
When I saw this headline, actually, I had seen some talk about this on Twitter and stuff. And it's really like, we don't want to go like, oh, conspiracy, tinfoil hat or anything, but
don't scare the children.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why this particular star has become big news, because it's actually one of a good handful of these stars that they're tracking that do the so let's give you the rundown here. So I'll just read from the article, I guess, because it's a good background. Fast radio bursts, strange, sometimes repeating signals from the other side of the cosmos, are really having a moment in 2020. The origins of the mysterious signals from deep space continue to puzzle scientists as they briefly and sporadically buzz the Earth. But as the numbers of FRBs, that's fast radio bursts, discovered continue to rack up, astronomers are beginning to understand them a little more, and in May even used them to solve the universe's missing matter problem. Oh, that's something else we can look into. That's pretty fucking cool. So way back, I know that this is somewhat related to pulsars. Way back in the day when we first started listening out into space, we noticed that we were getting these radio signals that would happen, like it would be like bip 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 bip, and we thought it was intelligent signals, right? Because it was
very a pattern, right?
it was every 3 seconds we would get this bip bip bip. Well, it turns out that it's actually um, uh, what we call a pulsar. It's actually a really, really small, fast spinning star, and we're catching the emissions as it spins. Right, they're blasting out of the poles, and as the thing is spinning, we're catching those emissions. Bip, 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 bip. And so this is somewhat similar, but what the difference is here is like it's not happening in the same way that it does with pulsars. It's different somehow, because like what in particular this one is it's regular, but it's like we'll catch 16 blips every 12 days. Like it's not just a constant bip 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 kind of a thing. It's like, and then a week later, and then a week later, and so I think that's what's setting it apart from like previously observed events. So let's see here.
Is this the first time we've ever observed something like this?
I think this is where we're at a point now where we're starting to understand where they're coming from and why. Because it's been very different. They're talking about things like magnetars, a type of neutron star with an immensely powerful magnetic field, and so like maybe it's blasting these bursts. It's like build up, boom, and then it's a big magnetic puff.
Oh, so it's basically like a giant capacitor.
Yeah, that's one possible explanation. And so let's see. A study published Wednesday for a high blah 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 due to the repeating bursts. So there's one in particular, this FRB 180916 blah blah blah. They've been looking at since it looks like from between September 2018 to February of this year. It's been localized to a spiral galaxy some 500 million light years away.
Only?
So this one's like on a 16-day regularity. So every 16 days, and then is when the event will start. Over 4 days, they detect radio bursts every hour or so before the signal suddenly stop. Then 12 days of silence, 4 days of signal, 12 days of silence, 4 days of signal. And so that's super weird, because like a pulsar, it's a constant, it's like a ticking clock. It's always constant. So this pattern is a little different. And it says here the rhythm of the burst seems to follow this pattern, but it's unusual because no other FRBs yet discovered that cycle the same way. So that's why this one in particular is catching people's attention. Is I guess this pattern is different. It's not. Oh, maybe it is mentioned later in this. It's mentioned later. They think like, okay, well, maybe it's like a dual star kind of thing where the pattern is being blocked because it's behind something, for those 12 days, and then it peaks back out, and then for 4 days it's visible. Like we're able to catch the signal because it's. Not
that
behind.
Distance though, like what could obscure it absolutely for that period of time? You'd have to wonder.
Yeah, that's
big is that fucking thing? Like if it is being obscured.
It's pretty cool. And then so it looks like they go on. Complicating matters the fact many of the detected ultra powerful radio signals don't repeat. Right? And so like catch a weird like and then it's gone. Let's see there, and then more recently, a second repeating burst was found with an unusual periodicity. Ooh, so there's another one here that the cycle seems to work out on a 157-day timeline, 90 days of signal, and then 67 days of nothing. And so it's super weird. It's just like, what's going on here? And I don't know. It's just one of these kind of interesting big question mark sort of things. But it does just like with the pulsars 60 years ago or whatever. There is probably a natural explanation for this, but it's super interesting stuff. The space is, man,
it's infinite, right? We know less than there is to know, and we always will. Like no matter how advanced, we ever become. There's not enough time in the universe for us to figure out like how everything works.
Yeah, I mean, the more we know, the more we realize we don't know.
I still like that we sent out like a satellite Voyager 1 with like a plate that like told everybody like right where we're at, and it like it's like the first object to leave our universe. I think 2 objects now, right? Voyager and Voyager 2 I think just left. So they're in that weird fireball, the giant fireball that surrounds our universe or whatever. They're called the plasma ball.
Oort cloud.
Yeah, so they're the first human-made objects to ever leave our solar system. Yeah. And they're like, that was a really dumb thing for us to do. We need to get that shit back.
No, I mean, so there is an argument to be made about like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be trying to look for, alien life because, if we do find any, they're going to be like ridiculously more advanced than us.
Yeah, it's like dropping a $20 bill. Is the person that picks it up going to keep it, or are they going to give it back? Like, you don't know, right? It's like it's some mining consortium. Like, is Star Trek going to end up being right?
Really, really though, like the odds of them finding either of the Voyager things is ridiculous. We didn't exactly aim it at something.
Yeah,
we were like, get out of here. And so, what are the odds of it actually bumping into something now? It's like,
right. So I don't. Yeah, I think honestly, the Earth will be destroyed long before that thing's ever within like spitting range of anything else. Because the truth is, if they could get close enough to get Voyager, like even at the speed it's traveling right now, like if they're close enough to get Voyager, then they've already traveled far enough that they should have no problem getting here. Like they should already be aware of us just from our radio emissions and everything like that. If they can find that needle in a haystack, they should know we exist.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool though.
Hey Jose, thank you for the $2 super chat. We appreciate those. Those super chats are what keep us going.
Seriously, it pays for my breakfasts.
It does. You guys are paying for AuxZillary's breakfast. We split all the super chats, so we really do appreciate it. So again, just special thanks to Jack, Eric, Nick, and Chickadance, John, Phantom Freak, and Jose. Thank you guys for that support. We really do appreciate it.
Notice, audience, that I haven't been eating this stream, and it's because
starvation's kicking in, guys.
Where's my Sarah McLachlan? For only your super chats will I get breakfast today.
When I redo the overlay for the show, should I put in like a health meter or a starvation meter? Like put an overlay like we're playing like Skyrim or something. It's like AuxZillary is hungry and have like a progressively like more like a little avatar that gets like hungrier and hungrier.
Little Sims. Like,
dude, that's a great idea. I don't think I've seen anybody do that. I think that's a fairly unique idea. Can anybody think of any other streamer that's actually put up like health gauges like a video game and stuff, and like as people contribute it like replenishes the health gauges and it increases like dexterity and stamina?
That'd be kind of fun.
I think that'd be actually really, really cool now that I think about it. Like make it like a video game. So it's like and then like when you get famished, have the heart like bleeping up in the corner. It's like doo 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 doo, and then the screen starts slowly shifting to gray. And then it says wasted. Like if you let it get completely zero, it pops up like the GTA 5 wasted.
I think we could there with some fiddling with JavaScript and some HTML, like for the overlay, it would be easier to just do it with HTML and JavaScript, where it's basically a timer. Mm-hmm. And as time ticks down, the bar gets smaller and smaller, and you apply you slowly drop the saturation on the stream.
Yeah, that could all be done with JavaScript and Cascade style sheets.
Yeah, and then also and then every time somebody does a super chat or a donation, it depending on the amount of the super chat or donation, it'll refill the bar, proportionate to the. That'd be fun.
Dude, I may have to investigate that, like trial that over on Twitch or something, because that'd be cool. I think that'd be cool to make it like a video game and have like sound effects like you level up too. So it's like, na, you've achieved level 3 or whatever, unlocked new skill chain, and just put in a bunch of random skill chain shit from a game. Like go find a game that has like a really rich skill chain like EVE Online.
Oh, dude, or Path of Exile, I think. Theirs is insane.
Just grab one that's uniform though, like where it's like every level you have options, and then just have it randomly roll the dice and give you that skill tree. Like just mirror the skill tree. Go put it in like an Excel spreadsheet or something and recall it. Dude, that would be hilarious.
And just gamify, dude. We're tapping into that Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. we just start using that. Well, the thing that sucks about that though is it's like it would be fun, but at the same time, it's like I do feel that would be like, I mean, you have to have a little bit of a a draw, right? You're never going to make a living if you don't have a draw. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to be so to the point that it's like so on the nose that it's like making people have like a gambling addiction. You know what I mean? Because you will have those people that it's like if they see a score going up and stuff, they're going to be like, oh my God, make the score bigger. And they might make bad decisions. So it's almost like you need to have like a thing on there where it's like if it goes up too fast or whatever, it throttles it and just shuts the whole system down. And it's like, no, like you got to have like cooldown periods or something. Just so people can't get ahead of themselves. Hey, Chicken Dance, thank you for that $10 super chat, man. He said, a lot of tech stuff goes over my head. I only have Windows 8.1. Wow, dude, I'm impressed. Not impressed that you're on 8.1, the fact that you're on 8.1. He said, I do learn a lot being here. Thank you so much. Well, the first thing you should learn being here is upgrade to Windows 10. Right. Windows 8.1 is the worst operating system Microsoft. Well, actually, Windows 8 was the worst operating system Microsoft ever produced, but 8.1 was like pretty damn close to still being much the same. So yeah, you need just to get some Windows 10 in your life. Leslie, thank you so much for those 10 pounds. Said, thanks for the entertainment, guys. You are very, very welcome, Leslie. Thank you for the support. NFG Nader, thank you for the $5 for just no other reason other than just give us $5. I appreciate it, bro. Let's see here. MindPod Archive said, could you use Barnacoins to run the system? Would be better than gambling them off. Yeah, we still haven't figured out what to do with Barnacoins on Twitch. If you use Stream Elements, you get like this coin thing. Like Stream Elements has like their own coin system that's basically completely separate from Twitch and is managed. So,
I like the they built it into Twitch. The not bits because that's money, but there's it's like you gain points for just being watching
channel points.
Yeah, that's it. I like that, and I'm still struggling. I'm struggling to figure out a way to use that too. I just have the default stuff set up right now, but my buddy, guy I work with, actually, I liked some of the things he's got on his stream, where it's like, oh, hydrate check, like you spend 200 points and like he'll take a sip of water or he'll do some push-ups or whatever, and I thought that was pretty clever. I thought that was pretty cool. I wonder some other things that would be fun like that.
I think, yeah, let's add them to the idea queue and see what we can do. Because I do want to get back to programming. That's actually my biggest regret in everything that's kind of spiraled over the last year or two, just in my life personally, just with like health and stuff like that, is that I got away from developing software. That was like the passion of my life. That's something I've done since I was like 7 years old. And I basically was just like, nah, I'm going to do other stuff.
I kind of want to get into interactive fiction. You know, like choose your own adventure games.
Dude, I love making those.
It's like a light layer of RPG to it. Like I would love the idea of developing something like solo D&D campaign, basically, but it'd be like an app. And there are some I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole of finding some on the phone and stuff that are pretty okay. They're pretty okay. But you can tell that it's like it's either translated from Russian or something or whatever, or it's just it doesn't quite scratch the right itch, and yeah, I think that once with the move and stuff is all done and I get back into a better like content creation pattern, I definitely want to start going down that path. I think it would be very fun.
There's a lot of frameworks out there for text-based adventure games.
Yeah,
like if you want to get into programming one, like I believe there's even an engine that you can buy for you, or like an engine for $5 or something you can buy for Unity. That is just a build a text adventure engine where they basically just give you the blocks, and you basically just drag in the blocks, and it's like, okay, you can go northeast, west or south, or if you have an encounter, it handles the health management system and the random encounter and all that stuff. It does for you. So basically, all you have to do is provide the story and the progression of the story, and that's it.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
If I can find it, I'll send it to you. I think it was only like $5 or $10 or whatever to buy it, because there's a lot of them in Unity. You can basically go into their marketplace and just buy asset packs. You can buy engines. You can even buy entire games. Like if you want to spend like $1,000, you can literally just go buy Raid Shadow Legends like engine, and then just replace all the graphics and all the text inside of it and resell it as your own game, like for like $1,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be super cool. Yeah, right. There's and then I think Fantasy Flight did a bunch of.
Let me see if I can find one of these engines.
I think had a bunch of text adventures.
All right, so here it's let's see here. Utage 3, Unity text adventure game engine. It's got a 5 out of 5. It's $80. Okay, so this one's a little bit more expensive. But this is a full build your own text adventure game engine, and it looks like it even has like graphics. So even though it's a text adventure, you can still do like illustrations and stuff of the story. It's actually very highly reviewed. So,
I might have to look into this. Twine, an open source tool for telling interactive, nonlinear stories with variables, conditional logic, images, CSS, and JavaScript. Which, by the way, somebody was like, "Oh, JavaScript is trash." I'm like, bro,
dude, you're using JavaScript right now.
Okay, JavaScript. Look, okay, I'm like I have one foot in the camp that says JavaScript is not a true programming language. Well, obviously, it's like script, right? It's a scripting language. But for an introduction into object-oriented programming, the HTML5 stack is wonderful. Okay, if anybody's really looking to like beginner programming, I highly recommend getting into the HTML5 stack with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Yeah. It will give you a good introduction to object-oriented programming, and then you can take a lot of what you learn there into something else like C# or
a lot of it's transferable. Yeah, like C# is very, very similar to Java and JavaScript. The namespaces, the API names, like a lot of that stuff's similar and transferable.
Java is awful.
I can't believe Java's still around, dude. Like, that thing should have been taken out of the pasture and shot a long time ago.
I never could get the hang of Java for Android in particular. Fuck Java, man. That shit was so confusing. I never understood. I failed my, what was it, like Java 2 class? It was like beginner and then advanced Java. I failed my Java 2 class like 3 times. I never could get the hang of it. It was awful. Objective-C was badass. I just understood Objective-C was awesome. And C# too. Back in the day when like .NET was brand new, kind of C# .NET was only a couple years old.
Yeah.
Awesome. C#, in fact, I would even recommend C# as a beginning object-oriented programming language. Like, C# is great. And the .NET IDE is outstanding too.
Yeah, Visual Studio is one of the most amazing dev environments ever created. Like, some people knock it, but it's amazing.
And even I think they have a free version, or they did.
Yeah, they do. It's community. Visual Studio community, and you can also use the pro version if you don't profit or something like that.
Great. I highly recommend it. It's super awesome. I kind of got lost. But yeah, I want to tell stories.
Well, I mean, even just in straight up C#, it wouldn't be difficult to make like a text-based adventure. As a matter of fact, that's like the first thing I ever programmed was a text-based adventure on the Apple IIe using BASIC. Nice. So, and it's even easier in an object-oriented language because you basically just create, a class for each one of your objects, whether you have a weapon, whether you have a shield, your health, all that stuff, you create it. And then the story, you can basically just lay out using a world loop that just randomly generates stuff, right? So you could even make a multiplayer. That's the cool thing too, is like, imagine having a text-based adventure game that's multiplayer where you just start like having text-based encounters with other real players. Like, you walk into a room and you find 3 players, their names are Sir this, and they're actual real people, and then it just randomly pops up and says, wait, you're being attacked by this person.
Multi-user dungeons, remember those?
Yeah.
MUD back in the day. I'm sure there are MUDs that or old MUD servers that you can connect to on your phone.
Dude, when you said that, immediately the first one that popped in my head was Lord Legend of the Red Dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a goodie. I played that every day. That and Trade Wars 2020. Those were my 2 go-tos on BBS door games.
Too real. Trade Wars 2020. Too real.
Here, I'm going to let you take the reins. I gotta go take a quick little siesta break, and I'll be right back. I gotta go do the tinkle dance.
Visual Studio is Windows only, though. You have code for Linux, Mac apps with .NET. Oh, interesting. Visual Basic. Hey, nothing wrong with Visual Basic either. That's where I started. At least in school, they started us with Visual Basic. Okay, I'm okay with preferences, but objectively, Java is it's not horrible. Tell me why. I don't know. I did not enjoy my experience with Java for Android. Nice beard, thanks, Plain Rock. You can play Lord in browser now. I think I have a copy of the original software. Wow. Just what Jerry does when you show up on Twitch saying your name, beatbox style. Python is nice. I've heard good things about Python. I don't think I've actually seen any Python code or anything. Started programming my TI-80 in High school was my first adventure doing blackjack. I one of the projects from school was to code blackjack. I got it done. Oh, dude, one of my co-students or whatever, classmate, actually like coded in cheat codes and stuff into his blackjack program. Actually, we did. I think we did blackjack, war, and something else. I don't recall. How long have you been programming? Oh no. So let me clarify. I have some schooling in programming, but that was back in like 2002, 2002 to 2004. I actually at that time I found that I had a natural talent for programming. It was the best schooling experience I've ever had was when I did computer science. I was a 16, 17-year-old kid, and I just understood software. It was awesome. However, at that time, I wanted to make video games. That was the whole reason I got into computer science. But all the people they ever brought to talk to us about like work-related stuff were like accountants, and it was just awful, just horrible, like office software programming jobs and stuff like that is all they ever talked about. And so I let it go. I turned 18. I passed. I was great. It was the best schooling I ever did. It was top of my class, top 5 all the time. Everything from SQL databases and data manipulation, right, with OLAP cubes and ASP and blah blah blah, which active server pages, that's a little different. I was great, but nothing they ever talked about as far as work was very interesting, so I let it go. I didn't pursue it, especially data manipulation. Actually, I should have gone into database administration after school. Like I'd be making so much money, and I loved database manipulation or data manipulation. And I don't mean manipulating in a negative way. I'm talking about like SQL queries and pulling reports and data analytics and stuff like that, like drawing conclusions from various sorting and things like that. I fucking loved data manipulation, OLAP cubes in particular. Like I could just visualize multi-dimensional arrays. Get me back into SQL databases, man. That would be awesome, I think.
You can do it. There's lots of free SQL, man. Lots of free SQL that you can just install and don't have to pay shit for.
It would be. It's too late now. I've found my true calling is in hardware. I just want to build PCs for people. That's all, and be the best. I want to be the best small form factor PC guy around. Like, there's one particular YouTuber, Ali Saeed. He does, or Syed, I'm not sure the pronunciation, but he does Optimum Tech, is his YouTube. Okay. And that's his jam. He reviews small form factor PCs and stuff. He does that kind of deal. And he's like my hero in a little way. Like I want to grow up to be like Optimum Tech when I grow up. Plain Rock, you want to buy a PC from me? Yes. Hit me up on Twitter. Are you in the United States?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Particularly Western Washington would be super cool because shipping is a bitch. You're not in the United States? Okay, then yeah, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah, shipping a computer outside the United States is nothing but a problem.
Actually, that's not entirely true. I can still offer advice. I just wouldn't be able to build and ship it to you. It's if anything happened, it would be so ridiculously cost prohibitive. And then, if you're in some place like the UK or the EU in general, the VAT taxes and customs, it'd just be. But I'm totally down to give advice.
Yeah, their value add tax sucks,
dude. It just, yeah.
It doesn't add any value. Let's put it that way.
Honest to goodness, it's yeah.
Oh,
but I could help you out. I could get on a Zoom call or something and walk you through it and whatnot. But yeah, buying and shipping it, having me buy the parts, build it, and ship it to you would double the cost. Honest.
Not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it.
Yeah.
But if you live in the United States and you'd like a computer built, this is your guy.
Please do hit me up on Twitter. Actually, man, I'm kind of sweating. Somebody had tagged us both, saying, "Oh, I need to build a new PC," and I reached out to them, and I haven't heard back from them. So if you're out there, Lilith64,
Oh wait, Lilith? That's a personal friend of mine.
well, ring the bell or something. Because I have a really good deal on a couple parts, and I'm talking like screaming deals. And if she doesn't want to do it, I will offer up the same parts list to somebody else to build for them. Because I don't want to miss out on this. This is a screaming deal. Like I can get a good
Yeah,
deal.
because I know Lilith. I've met her in person and everything. Spent a whole day hanging out with her. So she's really cool. So if she's interested in getting a computer built, yeah, I mean I can definitely ping her on Twitter.
Yeah, I want to help her out. I sent her a quote. But anybody really, especially if you're in Western Washington in particular, or like Portland area or something, I would love to help you out.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think she's pretty close too. I mean, like less than an hour away.
Yeah.
So she'd actually be able to like physically take delivery of it without you having to ship it through the mail.
Look, I really do want to like.
Hell, I'd deliver it. I would just deliver it for her. Like, so.
If the location on her Twitter is accurate, I'm way closer than you are.
Oh no, I know you are, because I've actually been there before. You're like the halfway point. So whereas me, I had to drive like significantly further.
I'm working on getting a website up and stuff like that. But I really do want to make this a thing. I want to, and I'm talking hyper focus. I want to be the best small form factor guy. No, nothing bigger than MATX, and so yeah.
Well, when this whole COVID shenanigans chills out, which I have a feeling it's going to spike really heavy here in the next 2 weeks. I don't know why, but we'll see. I need to get you over here so that we can do a streamed build and then make a YouTube video out of it of building a small factor ammo case PC.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Because that's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I have some GPUs sitting on the shelf. Like I have enough parts that I have the expensive components worked out. It'd just be a matter of getting like a CPU, a motherboard, and some RAM. Like everything else I've got, and maybe like a power supply, because we probably want to go with a small form factor power supply to free up space in there.
Right.
But I think it'd be pretty cool.
What is the best small case for MATX that still fits a full GPU? I would look into Sliger, actually. The Sliger cases are really good. Plus you can get a little handle. Their Cerberus line, in particular, is their MATX. The Silverstone SG10, if they're still selling those, I think they discoed.
I've heard of that one.
Actually, I think you have one of those.
I might actually. Yep, I do. I do have Silverstone SG10. That's why I recognize the name.
I don't like the shell, but yeah, you can fit a full length. You'll got to take out they have stock. They have like a tiny little 60 or 92 millimeter fan. You got to take that out. But yeah, you can fit two full length graphics cards in there.
Yeah, I know mine has I want to say it has a Titan in it, Titan XP or something big.
Yeah.
And then I have, what's the other one I have? I have the flat one, the little pancake one.
That's also Silverstone FTZO.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So well, you'd know because they were both built by Puget. So, and I haven't had any problems with heat in either of the systems.
I actually have an FTZ right behind me right now. And it's a good one, actually. Just to give you an example, while I've completely hijacked the stream.
Well, we've already burned out the topic, so you knock yourself out, man. It's from here on out. It's whatever the hell we want to talk about. All right, here we go. Boxes are being opened, folks.
Let me give you guys an example of the work that I'm able to do in this case in particular, because I have a lot of experience with it. My wiring, I would say go toe to toe with, in this case, with anyone, and I will beat their wiring any day of the week.
Oh wow, you got it all. Is it all tucked behind the main board, or? Let's see here. Bro, I do have one complaint though.
The spaghetti, the ketchup and mustard cables.
Yeah, you need to put some heat shrink on that bitch. Other than that, everything else looks like next level.
I think this is a stock. It is fully modular. I don't think this is the Seasonic one. I think this is a It's blast. I can't recall the brand. It's not like bottom tier, but it's like mid grade, fairly cheap. If I remember correctly.
If you're doing a compact build, do not cheap out on the power supply. Like never.
No, it's still fairly good, well rated. Actually, this might be a Seasonic one. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, possibly.
Well, to be fair, Seasonic makes like 99% of all power supplies are rebranded Seasonics.
Yeah, if I had the time and a little bit of extra money, which I might do this while I'm on a hiatus, get into cable sleeving, because I would want to take this all apart and do some better sleeving. But
that's what I would do. That's the only thing I see is I just sleeve that last, even with just heat shrink. Just putting like a piece of heat shrink over it, you wouldn't even notice because it's against a black background. There's lots of space though.
Do good work.
You do. It's lots of space. A lot of airflow. That's what you want in a tiny little case like that. Mm-hmm. Like cable management doesn't matter nearly as much in a big case because the air will find its way around shit.
Right.
And turbulent air even can be useful sometimes if you use it properly. But in a case like that where everything's packed super tight, like if you have all your cables in a pinch point, you will create a wall and stuff will start overheating. And if you overheat a power supply, oh my God, a cheap power supply, they do not do well. I've had 2 power supply fires in my life, and they were both because the power supply overheated. So one time it overheated because it was in the base of the case and all the cables came up and curled around the top of it and were blocking the fan because I built it, so I did a shitty job. They were blocking the fan. The thing actually overheated and caught fire. Never thought that could happen. That was a new one to me. And then the next one was a cheap power supply that came with a case. I bought a case that had like its own brand of power supply that it came with. And it was one of those cheap pot metal power supplies. And all of a sudden I hear me as I'm sitting here. I'm like, what the fuck's that noise? I think it's my speakers. I'm like, me. And I look down and there's like fucking arc light all under my desk. And I'm like blue light. It looks like I got blue LEDs on under my desk. I'm like, what the fuck? And I get down and I look and I just see this massively blinding blue arc coming out of the fan grill on the back of the computer. And so I unplug the power cable and smoke just starts billowing out of it and then it catches fire. Like after I'd already unplugged it. Like I unplugged it, the arc stopped, and then all of a sudden it just goes and there's like a fire inside of it. Like I wish I had like taken a video of it because it literally looked like a fireplace. Like there was like this nice smoldering, crackly little fire just going on inside. Like the glue on the capacitors caught fire or something. And I blew it out like a candle and it kept relighting. So I'm like, and then it'd be like, and it just turn on again. So I finally just unplugged the whole computer and just took it outside. And just basically just let it burn. It didn't burn the whole computer though, but it stayed localized within the power supply until it burned itself out. But I didn't have a fire extinguisher at the time. Now I have a fire extinguisher like on every level of the house because I do 3D printing and stuff. This was quite some time ago. But yeah, don't fuck around with cheap power supplies. Like they're not worth it. Not on anything. Like even on 3D printers, people buy these like cheap 3D printing knockoff kits. They have these shitty little like 60, 90 watt power supplies that are not UL certified. Dude, those burn people's houses down. Like just spend the extra like $50 and get a proper power supply.
Seriously, like there's a. Yeah, don't buy a $40 650 watt.
Yeah.
You know, like go there's but then at the same time, like it isn't always necessary to buy the EVGA Platinum.
No, I don't believe that.
Like you don't need to spend $300 on your 650 watt power supply either.
And also get a power supply that's like my personal preference. And again, it's going to probably change person to person. But from my experience back when I was building computers, I would always pick a power supply that had at least 200 watts of headroom. So that if I wanted to add a hard drive later on, it'd be okay or something like that. But I always wanted to make sure that there was at least like 150, 200 watts of headroom on the power supply. Because when you run them at 100%, like even though technically that's like their good efficiency point, like when you run them at 100%, they wear out a lot faster. Like every power supply I've ever had that has blown up has been underrated for the system. I've had power supplies for 10 years that were way too big for the system that they went in, and they're still perfect today. Yeah. Like just don't run them at the ragged edge. Like when you do your calculations, it's like, oh, my computer needs a 600 watt power supply because at max draw it's going to be 598 watts. Like don't do it. Don't do it. Go 200 watts over what your computer will ever need.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jordy said, I've got another bug for Windows, I think. When I am at full screen and hit Alt-Tab hotkey is acting up. That's actually more... That's less of a Windows bug usually and more of a display driver bug. is what I found when you alt tab out, because it's called mode switching. So when you get out of your game to the Windows desktop, if you're in Windows 10, that is, if you're in Windows 10, if it's the same resolution, it's the same color depth, it will do a smooth transition. But if there's any change, color depth, resolution, or anything between your desktop, it has to do a mode switch. And some drivers just do not, like hardware combinations, drivers, motherboard hardware combinations, like they struggle with that really bad, and they'll do this whole fucking clunkety clunk. Sometimes it'll just kick you back into the game. You'll alt tab out and it'll just be right back in the game full screen again, and then you end up having like alt F4 to get back to your desktop. I've seen that happen like tons of times on people's computers, and it usually is rectified by updating a video driver or playing around with the settings of your desktop. Like go into your desktop settings, check the color depth, check the resolution and everything like that. Make sure that your games, you're running them at the same settings. Like that, then it makes alt tabbing really easy, because everything's hardware accelerated in Windows 10, unlike Windows XP and even up to Windows Vista. When you alt tabbed out of a game, you had to transition from 3D mode, DirectX, to basically 2D compositing mode. And you don't have to do that anymore now, because all graphics cards all have 3D capability. Microsoft just said, fuck it, and everything is now rendered using DirectX. So your desktop is rendered using DirectX now. So now, as long as you have the same resolution and the same color depth and the same frame rate, you should be able to alt tab smoothly between the game and the desktop without any kind of fuckery. So that's the word of the day, fuckery. So so I recommend to people, like, if you are gaming, unless it's like a limitation, like you run your desktop at 4K but the game doesn't run well at 4K, so you got to run it at 1080p, then just suck up the alt tab bullshit, like trying to get it to work right. But if you can, try to use the same resolution settings. So if your desktop's running at 4K 10-bit color 60 hertz, or 4K 8-bit 60 hertz, make sure that you have those same settings in the game, and your alt tab will be butter smooth, especially if you're live streaming. Also with live streaming, that helps a lot with how bad your CPU's hit with compositing. Andre, he said, I have two 280X cards with a 9370 CPU, 896 watts power pull, and had to buy a 1,000 watt power supply. I mean, that's still over 100 watts of headroom, so you're probably gonna be okay. Let's see. Wait, it's like the alt tab GUI is not showing up sometimes, but then I keep spamming it and it works. What do you mean the alt tab GUI? Because oh, I see what you're saying. Well, the alt tab GUI is not going to show up in a full screen game. It's not. Like when it's in the full blown like DirectX gaming mode, just hit alt and tab, and that should get you out to the desktop. Like just tap it. You don't wait for the graphic to come up, because it won't in some games. It just won't composite over it. I don't know why Windows does that though, because you'd think if it's in the same video mode, they would just do it. Like it would allow you to composite over it. Another thing that you can do too, while I'm thinking about it, well, my ADHD is raging, is try running in windowed mode. There's not a huge performance hit anymore to run in windowed modes, depending on the graphics cards. I don't know about, I haven't used any of the AMD graphics cards in so long, I couldn't tell you, but I know with Nvidia and their unified driver architecture and everything like that, running in full screen, borderless full screen, gives you, like, within a frame or two per second performance is just doing full screen dedicated, and that allows you to easily alt tab out of stuff, because there's no full screen compositing like happening at all. Like you literally just alt tab. It's like a window on your desktop. Let's see. Does anybody else got any questions? We can we're just
jibber jabber now.
Just jibber jab. This is jibber jab time. We got through all of our topics quick today.
Yeah, which is good. That's good. Hey, and now we can just do like hardware talk, or
that's right.
People are asking questions like, I'm on a 7600K with a B series board, pre-built POS, 144 hertz, 1080p, good card suggestion. I would say and I just put this in chat, but I'd probably, depending on where you're already at, a 1660 Ti will get you there, but I would probably jump to a 2060 or 2060 Super. Yeah.
Taha said, what do you think about online education? Honestly, 90% of my education has come from online or some kind of computer source.
I would say probably do your best not to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, you can get around paying for it. Don't get me wrong. Just like anything else, paying for it's going to get you a higher quality and get you there faster. Like if you buy courses on like Lynda or what's another good one? Lynda and can't even remember. LinkedIn does it now. LinkedIn like absorbed Lynda. But yeah. Who's the other one? There's no, Pluralsight. Thank you. Yeah, Pluralsight's a good one. So if you want to learn like coding and stuff like that, but those courses like in Uversity, Udemy? Udemy also has some good courses that you can buy too. So, but just keep in mind that those are going to be very structured courses. They're going to stay very on point, but realize you can get all that information and more just by watching YouTube videos. You just have to kind of filter through some shit and, word of mouth, find the good guys. You can do it. Like, it's like, I'll be honest. I used to pay for, Microsoft paid for courses, but they'd buy me Pluralsight courses and stuff. And I found that usually I'd still go off course and go to YouTube to like find the finer points and little trickery and stuff that people were doing to figure things out, because it just Pluralsight, covered the course and the foundation, but there were certain things I wanted to do that the course didn't cover. And for that, I would venture off the beaten path and go to YouTube. But you can find anything on YouTube. Like, if you want to be like an expert electrician, or you want to be a diesel mechanic, like, there is enough YouTube content out there for you to become a master in anything. You just have to be good at finding it.
Yeah. I did online courses for mobile development, and a lot of it was Linda videos, honestly. And it was really hard to get good help from my professors. This is a knock against Full Sail University out of Florida.
Hit them. Florida man, gotcha.
It's a very compressed like timeline. You get like 4 years of education in like two and a half. They cram this shit fast. Like, we're talking like 30-day turnover for class kind of thing. It's fast.
You don't have to understand how the engine works, just how to change the oil.
Yeah, kind of. But that runs into a problem when you have like a weekly project and it takes 24 hours to get a response from your professor, and that response is, oh, did you not watch the video did you not watch the lecture video? And it's sent from his iPhone at like 6:30 in the evening. And it's like, bro, this is due in 4 days or 3 days. And like, it took you this long to tell me to watch. Yes, of course I fucking watched the video. Like, I'm not going to reach out to you until I've exhausted all of my other like resources. Like, and so I highly recommend do as much as you can for free. And even then, like, there are going to be resources where you can reach out to experts for help for free. There are very, 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 very few topics these days that you need to go to a college or university for, and especially if it's computer or IT related. Oftentimes, if you have a decent portfolio of like work that you've done on your own, like, hey, I built this thing in C#, or I finished all of these. It's not. I feel like on the one hand, it's not going to help a whole lot if you've like got a gold star sticker from some free resource. But go beyond that. Make something more, right? Like think of how wildly successful some of these people have been. Stardew Valley. That was one guy did that, and now he's like, he's like a major part of Chucklefish, a publisher, right, an indie publisher. And so there's a lot you can do for free on your own to then get your foot in the door. And then if an employer wants you or requires some sort of certification, they will likely pay for it within the first 90 days of your hiring. Because like so much of IT stuff is proving that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
really. And so if you can say, hey, look, I know I don't have a bachelor's degree, but I bet you if you put me in the same room as another candidate that has a bachelor's degree, I can do better. And here's my portfolio. Here's all the cool shit that I've worked. Here's my website here's my GitHub link that has all of the cool stuff that I've worked on from since I was 16. So much of that stuff is just being able to prove that you can do the job that they're asking you to do.
There's another trick too to break into the industry that was what I did back in the day, and it still works today. It actually does. Is don't try to go for the job that you want that you're not qualified for. Go for a lower job in the company. Oh, sure. And work your way up from inside. That's something that a lot of people don't realize. They're like, oh, I want to be a developer. I know how to do this job. I could be really good at the job. It's like, no, fucking go in there is like a low level fucking like network lab monkey. And then once you're in the door, automate the fuck out of everything and like dazzle your managers and be like, yeah, you guys want to hire me to do this shit full time? Like, do it. Like, I can do this.
That's where pride can come in. It can
Yeah.
kind of get in your way. Like, oh, and especially if you have a degree. Oh, I spent 4 years at such and such a university. I'm too good for that entry level job. I should be middle management right out of the gate. Fuck it up, bro. Like,
Yeah.
do anything. Especially if there's a particular company that you want to work for. Take anything. And make friends with management and with the people that find out who's the boss of the job you want and talk to them once you're in the door.
Yeah, I started at Microsoft as a complete lab monkey. Like, my job was literally just to replace dead hardware and computers. Like, pull them out of circulation, put them on a bench, pop new hardware into them, order new parts, and I was basically just a mechanic in the lab, and they didn't realize I could program. Like, I never put that on my resume because I was never formally trained in it. So, and that made it, like, really easy for them to just, like, hire me up as this guy to work on hardware, and while I was inside, I automated my entire job so I could just sit around and do nothing all day. And they took notice, and when they took notice, they put me through an interview loop 8 months later and gave me a full-time job as a low-level SDE, and then software development engineer and test, and then I worked my way up to a senior software developer and test. And shit, I mean, I had a GED. I dropped out of high school and got my GED, never went to college, and literally had people under me that had bachelor associate's degrees in computer science. I had a PhD under me at one point. He didn't like that, by the way. That didn't work out. A PhD did not like reporting to somebody who only had a GED, so he let himself out. He was like, okay, I'm gonna go to another team. Okay, thanks, bye. But anyways, it ended up working out better for him and I in the long run. But no, you just go in, get a job that's like, down towards the bottom. It's not going to pay you super, super great or anything like that. But I guarantee you that companies are way more likely to hire internally than they are externally because they already have a record of how you work. They already know that you're initiated with the system and understand how the company works and the hierarchy, and the people. They are way more likely. Like when we went through hiring loops at Microsoft, I interviewed more internal people looking to change positions than I did external people coming in for a brand new job.
It's cheaper.
Massively.
For the company to hire internally.
Yeah, plus they can screw you on a paycheck too. Like they can literally lowball you.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but when you see a job application that says, "Oh, we require a bachelor's degree" or something, there's in my experience, and having talked with like my boss, or John, right, the president.
Yep.
What he looks for, the ask for a degree shows that you're committed. Okay, you've made a decision and that you saw it through to the end. It's oftentimes less about what you learned and more about the fact that you finished something long term. 4 years, that's a long time. And then also it proves that you know at least the basics of whatever your degree is in. Because a lot of times, and here's a good example of this, I was hired as a cook. I had no, and at Microsoft, I was a contractor for Microsoft through, I can't remember the food service company that Microsoft contracts with.
Urist?
Yeah, Urist Services, that's right. I was hired by them. My executive chef hired me. He goes, "Do you know why I'm going to hire you?" And I said, "Oh, because my friend Jackie gave me a recommendation." He goes, "No, I mean, that helps, but no. He goes, I need somebody who's going to do what they're told." He's like, "I've hired too many of these kids that have come right out of culinary school who think they know everything there is to know about being a chef or being a cook or whatever. I have a need, and I believe that you will do what I tell you to do in the way that I tell you to do it. And that's what I need. I will turn you into the cook, the cook that I need right now. You are my ball of clay." I'm not sure where I was going. Oh, the degree thing. Yeah. So sometimes a degree can not hold you back, but can give a sense of entitlement or something. But just be open. What you learned in school is probably not how it's going to work in the job.
It's very true. Not everything you learned in school is very transferable to the real world.
I would say especially in software development, because every coding house, every like team that you work on is going to have a different way of doing things, and the degree is really just to show that you have the foundation, that if they throw a term at you, that you're going to understand what they're talking about, and that sort of a thing.
The other thing Microsoft really didn't like when we hired external people straight out of school, like the interns that would come in through the internship program, is they would always be like, "Oh, in our class we used Linux and it was way more effective to do this." And we didn't. No, your school used Linux because they were poor people and they didn't want to pay for a Windows license. And now you got to learn how to do shit the Windows way because we don't run Linux here. And then you'd catch them like running Linux on their dev box and shit and trying to run scripts and services and writing Python, running in Linux. Like, dude, no, Windows. Here we do Windows.
Yeah, and that's a big one. Is just like don't have that entitlement, especially if you're just starting out or anywhere really. You got to know that every player is a little different, and just you got to fit in more than anything. That's true. That's a big one. The environment, the culture of where you're working, you have to fit in with that. That's a big.
Yep. So swallow your pride and get in the door, because I'll tell you what, it ain't getting any better. It ain't getting any better. Every day that you wait, that you another opportunity passes you up, it's like you're not going to get that opportunity back. Like, so in the end, if you're not incredibly lucky, you're going to have to compromise anyways. So it's better to control that, come in early, and work your way up. And it doesn't take long. Like, it really doesn't take long. Like, if you start working at the company and they start having openings and stuff, and you have your ear to the ground, and you know that shit's happening, like before it's going up on the board and it's being advertised externally, snipe that shit. Dude, it happened all the time. Dude, we upgraded so many network technicians from the lab to software engineers.
And I made a mistake. So I started working for your rest as a cook. Like, I eventually became the lead of my station, which was just basically making sandwiches, but whatever. But this is a good example of that. I pushed really hard. I wanted to get into IT or your rest. I wanted to set up point of sale systems or whatever. I wanted to do something more computer related. Well, I got a big stick up my butt. There was a lot of like drama and political, not like United States
internal political, yeah,
internal bickering and politics inside the team that I was involved in, and I quit. I just and about a month and a half after I quit, I was offered a job to it was point of sale setup. Basically, I was putting together the point of sale systems throughout the different cafes and stuff that URS services. Unfortunately, they had to rerun my background check, and in the time since I was hired as a cook and quit, they had to redo the background check because it was been more than 30 days after my quitting, and at that time I had a misdemeanor theft charge. That has since gone away. I paid my fines and they scrubbed my record and stuff, but it was on my record. They couldn't hire me because of that. I missed out on my base job offer was $50K a year to basically put point of sale systems together. And I missed that because I couldn't swallow my pride long enough to just if I had just held out for another 2 months, I would have been in a dream job. So, dude, stupid easy job. Just basically building these pre-built boxes, putting them into a cabinet, and making sure that the touch screen worked. Because I got wrapped up in into the bickering and politics that didn't even involve me. I'm not a cook. I'm not a chef. I'm not trying to improve that part of my career. And I'd be in a whole different place, I think, if I hadn't done that.
Yeah. Well, we learn. We live and we learn, and then we pass on that information. Hopefully somebody else can take better advantage of it than we did. Hey, VGC Construction, thank you for that $20 super chat, man. We really do appreciate that a lot. He said, want to say thanks. Your gear video has helped us on our channel over the years. Everything from audio equipment to how to set up OBS. Thanks, cuz. You are very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm glad that I could be of assistance to you. Actually, one of my biggest purposes in life is knowing that what I do has some meaning to somebody. Doesn't really matter who it is. Doesn't matter what they're doing with it. But as long as it has like some positive impact on another human being, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
I love knowing that I've helped somebody fix something or
totally.
Or like, hey, because I remember you saying this thing, man, and I remember, and it totally saved my ass. I love that stuff.
It's the best. Hey, Head 420, what's up, my man? He said, when do you plan on replacing your mixer with a Rode Podcaster Pro? Can I have your old Yamaha mixer? I'm in the process of an XLR mic now. Head, no, you cannot have my Yamaha mixer board, but you're not the first person to ask, so don't feel bad. And when I do upgrade, unfortunately, the Rode Podcaster Pro is pretty much sold out everywhere, and there's a supply issue. Apparently, Go XLR is having the same problem. So I don't think I'm going to be replacing it anytime soon. Plus, I was lucky enough to figure out that the preamps weren't blown out in it, so I may get another year of use out of it before I switch it up with something else. But it never hurts to ask. I get a lot of people to ask every day if they can have everything that they can see in the background of the video. But the answer is no, because I'm poor people now because of the way the world is. And I'm going to now just sell all this shit when I need to and use that money to survive.
Like, when are you planning on replacing your mixer? When Rode decides to give me a Pro.
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. When Rode, and don't think I didn't ask, man. I asked him, and you know what the response was? Oh, we totally would love to send you one, but we literally don't have any. Yeah. So, well, dude, I told you they sent me all this stuff, right? So Rode sent me every single accessory for their Go Go interview microphone system, except for the lavalier mic. So because they're still out of stock, they still and it's been weeks and they still haven't got them in stock. I even have the Labs. I have the Labs that plug into them. 2 Labs, the interview set, the clip-on, the magnetic clips, everything. I have every accessory that they have for it, except for the thing that all the accessories attach to. And they keep messaging me and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry, but they're still not back in stock." They're still not back in stock because they're selling them faster than they can make them right now.
Yeah.
So, and that's a good problem for them to have. I don't fault them for that. It makes no sense for me to do a review of the product if nobody can buy it. So it makes sense for them to send it to me when it's actually available to everybody. Let's see what else we got here. Chickadance said, "Can I have all of your gear, including the shirt you're wearing?" Okay, you wore me down, Chickadance. Chickadance. I just like to say it. Colin Beck said, "Can I have you?" He put a little /S just in case Miss Barnacules was watching. Of course you can, Colin. You can do it. You can do it. This is what I tell everybody every day. I'm like, you can do whatever you want to me in your mind. Like, as long as it's in your mind, it doesn't manifest in reality. You can do whatever you want. I have no problem with that. And if you want to write fan fiction about me, you knock yourself out. Just make sure I get a link to it. And what's the other one? If you want to deep fake me onto Ron Jeremy or other chubby adult stars, you knock yourself out. I'm fine with that.
I saw you tweeted something out where that actually did happen, and I tried to find it was like a screenshot though of the YouTube link, and I tried to manually put it in. I couldn't find it.
Oh, was that? It was unlisted.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there's a video. There's a video of me. You guys can find the link on Twitter. Twitter. Yeah, you'll have to do some digging. But on Twitter, there is a link to a YouTube video that is unlisted of my face put on Ron Jeremy, him doing a boner pill commercial. I gotta find that.
And
it actually, even though, and you can tell it's first generation deep fake, but it's actually pretty good. The expressions and the face stuff is good. It just doesn't match up good with the forehead color and stuff. So there's a solid line across, they didn't do any blending or anything, but it still turned out really, really good. And it's so creepy seeing my face perfectly making the expressions of Ron Jeremy and the eye movements and everything. It's so good.
I have to, because I thought I had manually typed it in correctly and it didn't come up, and so I'll have to try again.
Yeah, he kept it unlisted. He didn't make the video public.
That's awesome.
But I told him if he wants to make it public, knock himself out. I mean, it probably won't go viral or anything, but it's still funny. I thought it was really, really funny. Let's see here. Pat said you should ask Creative Labs to send you a Sound Blaster AE9 for review. Have no interest. My thing is I only review things that are stuff that I actually am interested in and stuff that I need to use or I want to use. And the thing is, a sound card doesn't really interest me because I already have an internal DAC in my mixer board that's capable of driving all my headphones and stuff. So it's I really don't have much to gain by having another external sound card that I would then have to just pipe into the mixer board.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I think I know the answer, but I'd like, since you have more experience at this sort of stuff than I do. Okay. If I turn down if I turn down the computer audio, actually even right now, if I'm very quiet and I turn up my monitor, right, volume, the sound that I hear in my headphones, with nothing happening, there is a there's line noise, right? It's a very, very...
Okay.
I know that it's coming from my PC. It is, if I unplug, so I have a 3.5 millimeter that splits out into a left and right 1/4-inch plug.
Yep.
So I can get the PC audio into the mixer. I know it's coming from, it's either the cable or the plug out the computer end. Is it the shitty cable? Is there something I can put onto the cable that will fix that? Because it's not really bad until it's quiet, but it's there. It's always there. And I just want the cleanest signal I can get.
So first of all, try a different cable first, because the cable not being properly shielded can cause crosstalk and give you a little bit of a hum. But if you're getting a hum from the power supply in the computer, which is what it sounds like you're getting, is just get a ferrite core. Like, just order a ferrite core. They're like $1, and then just wrap your cable around it, and boom, it goes away.
It goes away when I unplug it. Like, it's gone when I unplugged either from the mixer side or from the. It's definitely coming from the PC. And I don't know if it's I didn't know if it's like, okay, maybe it's just not shielded well, like at the point of contact, or.
Does your mixer have a ground strap on the back of it? Like, if you look on the back of your mixer, does it have like a place to hook an external ground, like a screw or something?
Nothing obvious. It's an external power supply.
Because there is a way that you can run like some equipment that's like really, really sensitive to EM. They usually have a ground. Like, mine has a grounding strap. I don't need to use it though, because everything is clean. But what you can do is you can actually run a wire from that right to your house ground, to your common ground to your house, and basically it'll ground like directly to it. That way, any noise it's picking up that's coming through from anything else, it just runs it to ground. But I found that ferrite cores just work fine. Like, I've used ferrite cores on all my audio. Well, not all of them, but if I have a heavily shielded cable, I usually don't need one. But I usually just put ferrite cores on everything, like loop it through. Or buy a cable that already has a ferrite core on it, and it usually cleans up. Especially the really high-pitched stuff, like the stuff that's like damn near at the edge of human hearing.
It's mildly annoying, but like I can tell. Like, now that I've heard it and I noticed, it's like it's there.
All right, well, why don't we start wrapping up? Do you guys got any last questions you'd like to throw our way before we wrap it up today? Because I'm still contemplating whether I want to stream this afternoon over on Twitch, but to be honest, I don't know if I will. Like, I'm actually not feeling too great today. But I'm definitely here in an hour or so going to record a jitter, because you patrons have been waiting for a while, so I'm going to get you guys your new jitter that you've been waiting so patiently for. Maybe it's a ground loop. Yeah, it usually is a ground loop, and that's what ferrite cores deal with those really, really well. Let's see. So currently I'm using my iPhone as my main computer for 3 weeks, and it's actually really good. I have it connected to the TV. I have a monitor connected to it and a keyboard and a mouse. Well, one, I didn't know you could use a keyboard and a mouse with an iPhone, so can you?
Yeah. iPad, your cell phone, like
whoa, that's pretty badass, actually.
Samsung's got their DeX thing. Yep. I can plug my phone in to basically another computer or to a computer or a monitor, and with a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, I can completely. It gives actually a really interesting sort of desktop or tablet interface. It's actually really good.
I'm gonna have to check that out. So do you just need like a OTG cable, or do you just Bluetooth, like use a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard, or
for
iPhone?
I think for iPhone, it's just you can just hook up a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse. They make
try that out. They did not have that a long time ago. Like, that's something I know they didn't have. So
you'll want to. I think you might need some. You might need a kind of dongle or something. But I think there are certain ones that it's just. It's a lot like. Like you get an iPad keyboard, right?
That's really cool.
Just a Bluetooth device. You flip it on. You there might be like a pairing button to press. And it'll show up as a Bluetooth device under your settings, and it just connects. You don't need a dongle for. Some of them are particularly tailored for mobile devices, and they won't have a dongle or anything. They're just you just flip a switch, and it shows up as a device like your headphones will.
That's cool. I picked up an Apple TV just so I could mirror my phone to it. And it actually works like really, really well. Like, I know that, like, you know, there's a Mirrorcast and stuff that you can use on like Android devices that's cheaper. But I was actually surprised at how well it worked. So now, like, I can just be sitting on my phone in my bedroom, and if I'm watching a YouTube video, I can either cast it to the TV, which the TV supports casting, which will just open up its YouTube app and start playing it. Or if it's something that's specific to the iPhone, like a video game or something like that, I can just mirror it right to the Apple TV and just have it wirelessly showing up on the screen. and it works pretty well. I mean, there's a little bit of lag, but it's not terrible. Let's see.
Yeah, I watched football. I cast the stream from my phone to the TV.
Yeah, I mean, it works really good. And you like flip through the menu systems and do all kinds of shit. So I thought that was cool. Pat Carrillo said, AuxxZillary, who's the most attractive female character in a video game? Mine is Twilight Princess and Zelda. That's a good damn question. Let's see. What video game? I'm kind of curious myself.
I always hesitate with like best of or like top. Because like there's a list and it's super. A part of me is a little weirded out by the question because these are like cartoon. They're fake. They're fictional characters, right? It's kind of weird. I don't know. There's a bunch.
I can't even think of one like right now. Oh, Lara Croft. That's like a gimme though. That's like, come on.
Tifa and Eris from Final Fantasy VII.
The hooker from Leisure Suit Larry 1 in the bar. I'm just kidding. It's like 5 pixels in CGA.
There's a few fighters that are, but these are these aren't real people. It's like,
well, no, but I think that's why he's asking. Is it's like what is the like hottest fictitious character like that was like designed in some dude's mind who was like,
yeah.
Like I'm trying to think myself. I can't think like off the top of my head like of any of them. I find that weird. Maybe it's because I'm just tired.
They're pretty and stuff, but it's not like I'm like, oh yeah.
Chun-Li. I mean, maybe sure. I mean, but I'm just trying to think of why isn't there one that like really stands out? I find that weird. Like of all the games I've played.
But I don't know. It's like they're exaggerated and stuff, so it's like hard. Jessica Rabbit. Yeah, again, that's like a caricature, right? It's not.
Yeah, like cartoons, I can do that like all day long. Like, dude, I used to have a weird crush. Like growing up, I kid you not, I had a crush on. Oh come on, fucking brain.
Gadget from the Rescuers.
Rescue Rangers. That's one of them, and then the other one was. It's weird, like these animal characters. Why the hell do I got a crush on animal characters? Like, am I a furry at heart and I just don't know it? But what's the other one?
It's fine.
Fucking Tailspin. Rebecca from Tailspin.
Oh, hold on, that sounds familiar.
You got to look that shit up. Rebecca from Tailspin. She was the one that like ran Blue's like shipping business or whatever. I don't know what it was, but man, when I was a kid, I was like infatuated with her.
Such a weird hairdo. Like
I think it was a weird hairdo that did it for me though. Like I don't know. Kids are weird with their hormones raging and shit.
Yeah. That's so weird.
Let's see here. I haven't even seen her in years. Here, let's see if we can rekindle the flame here. So, see, like I look at that today and I'm like, no, that must have just been like my 12-year-old hormones raging or something.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make any sense looking at it today. I'm like, okay, that's nothing special. But for some reason, growing up, man, I don't know. Or like Punky Brewster, man, I had like a thing for Punky Brewster, dude. Like Solio Moonfry or whatever. Holy shit, growing up.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Hey, hormones. It's all hormones, man. Because like you grow up and then you're like, you start getting old, like 40. You're like, meh.
But yeah, okay. Like if we're gonna talk real people, but fictional characters, Alex Mack, right? The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Hold on here.
What was the actress there?
Let's see here. Let's see. Secret World of Alex Mack.
Larissa Oleynik. She was cute.
Oh no, I do remember her. No, I didn't watch that show, but I do remember her.
She was cute.
Or like every woman that was on Baywatch, like every last one of them. Like I was one of those things. It's like a blanket statement. Like every last one of them, I had a thing for. Didn't matter. Nicole Eggert, Pamela Anderson, even the one that was actually a real lifeguard in real life.
Wasn't
what was her name?
Electra on that one for a minute?
Carmen Electra was on there. Oh, I mean, dude, it was an all-star cast. Like you couldn't lose at that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Let's see here. I'm a new programmer and I use Python. Have you some tips? Yes, and can use Python on iPhone. You can pretty much use any language on iPhone now. Like there's enough translation layers and engines and stuff that you can pretty much use anything on it. As far as Python, that's the one language I have no experience with. Like I literally have never even looked at a Python script. So I honestly couldn't tell you. Yeah, Nicole Eggert, isn't that a blast from the past? Dude, my friend Jake had like an obsession with Nicole Eggert growing up, like full blown exception. Like literally, if there's an infomercial she was in, he like had that shit recorded on VHS and would just watch it on loop. Like he was like literally, she should have been afraid for her life that there was like this little 12 or 13-year-old like running around on Earth that was so infatuated with her. It was weird, dude. Like even to his friend, it was weird, and I was just as horny as he was. Brooke Burke, the chick from Labyrinth, yes.
Didn't she do a thing on like a Need for Speed game?
Maybe. Let's see her. Labyrinth. She was in other shit, wasn't she? She wasn't just in Labyrinth, was she?
Yeah. She was in Need for Speed Underground.
Oh, well, holy shit! I didn't know that.
I thought I recognized that name.
No. Now that you bring her up, yeah. No, I had a huge crush on her. Come to think of it, I think I had a crush on anything that had a pulse when I was about 12 years old. I wasn't very selective when the hormones were raging. I was just like, whatevs. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I literally just like, I don't know. I feel sorry for my parents having to go through that phase with me. Oh, that's Jennifer Connelly. No shit. Okay, she's in everything, dude. Jennifer Connelly was like in every movie in the 80s and the 90s. Come on.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, she been in other things? Oh no, of course she has. You know, Jennifer Connelly, Liv Tyler. That's another one that some people don't get it and other people do. But Liv Tyler, I think, my god.
There was a minute where I was like, oh yeah, but
I mean, terrible actress, but
no.
well, except for I want to say terrible actress, but she has actually done some decent roles. Like I loved Armageddon. I thought Armageddon was an amazing movie.
I liked Armageddon.
Armageddon was legit. Like I watched it probably a dozen times. I'd watch it again. It was good. Let's see here. I like how we transitioned from video games. Now we're just like full on in real life, just like reliving all of our crushes of the olden days. Dude, I loved Labyrinth though. Labyrinth was a good movie. What was there was a couple movies when I was a kid. Like, do you remember The Explorers? Did you ever watch The Explorers?
I don't think so.
The movie where the kids like built a spaceship out of the garbage cans and shit, and then they like flew into space with like an Apple computer, and then the end of the movie makes absolutely no sense and just comes to an end.
They get kind of snatched up by like the kid aliens.
Yes, yeah, exactly. They get like in trouble by their parent aliens. Yeah, exactly. That was a really good movie. Actually, I watched it again as an adult. It wasn't as good, but I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of a lost classic if you haven't heard of The Explorers. But Labyrinth, Legend was really good. Like when Tom Cruise was like going through his pixie phase.
All right. Well, that's like his like almost his first movie, right? Like,
I think it was. Honestly, that's got to be like the first movie I ever remember seeing him in.
19 or something in that.
Yeah, he was totally like, and he already looks young for his age, so he looked like he was literally like he was like 8 years old. They had to like give him a bottle and stuff and pat his butt between takes. And then there's Ice Pirates. That was another movie I really liked when I was a kid that I shouldn't have been watching, but that was a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen Ice Pirates, that's one worth watching. I like Liv Tyler and Jersey Girl. I don't think I've seen Jersey Girl. Jennifer Connelly's done some weird shit though. Have you heard like what was that? A Requiem for a Dream?
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, I watched that and I was like, holy shit, this is porn. Like, this is not a like, how is this like not just advertised? This is straight up like porn.
Oh.
Yeah, no. If you're a Jennifer Connelly fan, you owe it to yourself to see Requiem of a Dream. And then what's the other one? Meet the Abbots. There's another one called Meet the Abbots where it's a little bit gratuitous.
Huh.
So yeah, she's kind of done the full gamut, like old Jennifer Connelly. She's been all over the place. She's got a wide range. Wait, she is in the new Snowpiercer TV series airing now. You guys should check it out. Wait, who's in the Snowpiercer series? Liv Tyler or
Jennifer Connelly?
Oh, Jennifer. Oh shit, I'm watching it like 5 minutes after I finish this. What do we got here? Alicia Silverstone. There's one you don't hear about anymore.
Like from Clueless.
Yeah, Alicia. I remember that, man. Alicia Silverstone. She was definitely one of the ones that got away in my hormonal memory when I was a kid. There's so many that have retired that you don't even, until somebody mentions the name, like you don't even, like I didn't even think about that until I saw Alicia Silverstone. I was like, oh god, I wouldn't even you could have asked me to name 1,000 people and I never could. Marina Sirtis, from Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Specifically Star Trek, Marina Sirtis, specifically. But to be fair, every woman ever presented on Star Trek for some reason I had a thing for. Even Deep Space, was it not Deep Space Nine? Was it? Oh yeah, Kira from Deep Space Nine, of course, absolutely. Nana Visitor or whatever. But Voyager, I don't know what it is, man. Catherine Janeway ticked my boxes. I don't know why either. I could not tell you why, man. You could literally like have a quiz with check boxes and everything, and everything that I'd answer would be like contrary to that. But for some reason, just some powerful lady cruising around the universe in a big old starship. I don't know. It did it for me. It did it for me. And on that note, I think we should wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you had a wonderful tech talk like we did today.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
This was fun.
This was an interesting one. No, but I like it when it gets interesting. It's like you never want this to be monotonous. Let's see. Wait. Oh, Tom Cruise's first movie was Endless Love. Oh, I've never even seen that, and he's uncredited. Interesting. Lucy Lawless. Oh, that's another one. Oh, yeah, Xena. I think I was just attracted to like strong women. Yeah. Jadzia Dax. Hell yeah, that was wait. Jadzia Dax was God, I know her name. Oh, she actually left Deep Space Nine on bad terms, which sucked. What was her name?
Terry Farrell.
Terry Farrell. Boom. Terry Farrell. She's another one that had a wide range. She was in a video game, in a very risque video game that I remember buying when I was a kid because my parents didn't know any better. The software, etc. It was like some treasure adventure game. Terry Farrell, but even the one that replaced her, Ezri Dax or whatever. She was, I don't know, man. Star Trek women. Just God. That's it. Miss Barnacules, I'm gonna get you some Star Trek outfits, okay? We're gonna go do a little shopping tonight. Get you some Star Trek outfits, and I'm gonna get you like a little book with like all the rank insignias and everything, and all the verbiage and stuff. And then you're gonna command me. I'm gonna be your little ensign. She's like, okay. Be like, take the helm, Mr. Barnacules. I'll take your helm. All right. And on that note, that is the end of Tech Talk today. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for all the support. VCG Construction, thank you again for that last minute super chat, man. And everybody else that super chatted today. We split that money, helps us out a lot and keeps us going. Got to feed that AuxxZillary, man. If you don't feed them, it doesn't work.
Still haven't had breakfast.
All right. He still hasn't. Again, well, actually, I had 2 eggs, though. So for once, I actually ate before you. All right, guys. Take it easy. Until next time, we'll see you next week, 10 a.m. Saturday, same bat time, same bat place. Come follow us on Twitter. All our information will be down in the video description. The video usually takes a couple hours to publish afterwards because YouTube's got to do some processing thing because we go over 2 hours. I don't know, some weird fucking thing on their side. But by all means, come over on social media. We're both pretty gabby over there if you got questions and shit that didn't get answered. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
And do I want to end? Yes, I do. And